All right. Where go? Welcome to the Press X podcast. I believe we are on episode 12, the Cold and Culture podcast. Introducing my
Oh
co-host
yes.
here, Mr. RK. Tell us, how are you doing, sir, today?
I'm doing good. I'm enjoying being home. Um and last week of working at my job for until we get a nice little break. I just came from the Long Island Video Game Expo where I got these buddies.
Nice.
I had to get them because I always wanted to play Jungle Beat the way it was intended. I played it on the Wii back in the day, but never with the bongos. I saw with the bongos with the game for $60. I had to get it.
I'm glad to hear that.
So yeah, so I had a great time at the expo. I'm sure it's actually very fitting because a sizable amount of the expo was NES focused. But there was a whole section where a bunch of homebrew like NES games were playable. There's a whole like history of the NES where like the Rob robot was you can play with that. You could use the NES Zapper. Like you saw tons of memorabilia all over the place. It was really cool. Plus all the other games there as well. Like there's a lot of really cool games.
Well, looking forward. Now,
Yeah.
I guess you want to get into what we're playing?
Of course. I guess that'll just naturally lead to I've started the Jungle Beat on the GameCube using my surviving Wii after having that for many years,
Dang, a
and
Wii.
it's yes, it's man Jungle Beat. Oh, it's such a great game. Oh, it's awesome. And I've gone through two of the worlds, and I might do some type of write up on it down the line. But I love it. It's a lot of fun. I also got 960 something bananas, I think, in Bonanza. So almost done with the 100% run for that. And my review should be out sometime this week. I loved it. It's one of the best games this year that I've played. And I'm really curious what that team's going to follow do next because I don't know how you top that for like a 3D platformer, but the Mario team always kills it, and
Better
I
than
can't wait to see
Odyssey?
what they do next. It's better than Odyssey in one way, and worse than Odyssey in another way. It's better
Ah,
than Odyssey in the sense that progression is a lot better because every five bananas you get a skill point for DK, and skills cost between 1 and 5 skill points. And these skills actually really help with gameplay and give a good sense of, hey, I'm collecting all these things, but I'm doing it because I want to max out DK and make him as powerful as he can get. Meanwhile, it Odyssey, the advantage Odyssey has over Bonanza is just the way Odyssey is structured. Odyssey is structured like open area, and you have very like designed areas for your jumps, your captures, your this, your that. With Bonanza, you have all that, but you can just destroy everything. And the game is more than Odyssey is built on the principle of we have an intended way for you to solve this, but if you want to find an alternative way to solve it, be our guest, and that works. I love that approach for a platformer, but I know that people are gonna prefer like the more like purposeful designs that you would see in something like Mario Sunshine or the Galaxy games or Odyssey, even though Odyssey's very open. So it's not like it's worse than Odyssey, but it has a different approach than Odyssey, and I like that approach a lot. But that is something that I can see people not liking too much.
I see. Well, glad to hear that. With your Yōtei?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I already know it's gonna be like the game I think about and like the best games I played this year. It's also one of the only games I fully finished this year. And obviously, my co-host knows that I don't finish games sometimes. So when a game really
Sometimes.
grabs me like that, it means something.
Glad to hear that you enjoyed it. You
Mm.
enjoyed the day
Yeah,
con.
yeah, yeah. Mm. So what have you been playing, good sir?
So I have recently I have just been Mafia the Old Country already. It just came out 3 days
You beat
ago.
it?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Okay, I
It
guess
was
you can.
about 10
This
hours
is
long.
our.
But yeah, and it
Okay, so I guess this is our press X code and culture review of Mafia: The Old Country. Take it away, good sir.
Mafia. I became a fan of Mafia somewhere around like 2022, I would say, when I think maybe 2021, and when the definitive editions came out. I really enjoyed one and two,
Hmm.
and then I like three, but it has a lot of flaws. And they really learned their lesson from 3, where it doesn't need to be open world, and when they went back to their linear roots. There's still like a world there,
Nice.
like they have a thing called explore mode, like when you finish the story, you can just like drive around the world. There's nothing like
Well,
really
that's cool.
much to it. It's not an open world game, but it's like a place you can explore, a hub.
That's
Yeah, and then this for a $50 game has some of the best cinematic production quality I've seen. Aside like from Death Stranding and Kingdom Come Deliverance, it has a really good cinematics. And the
nice.
gameplay is very largely improved from Mafia 1 remake back in 2020, I want to say. Yeah, and what I
Sweet.
love about the Mafia franchise as well is they always have like all the games have connections that connect like then you'll see some sort of Easter egg or
So this is
character
like
from
the
another
prequel,
Mafia game.
basically. For,
Yeah, it's a prequel.
so this is like a prequel.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll see some like you'll hear some familiar names like you know that person when he's older, you know. But yeah, it's overall
Nice.
it's a really great story. As Mafia stories often are, they're tragedies, and it's a pretty compelling world. I hear some people have some performance issues, but like overall, they're not as most minor Unreal Engine 5 launch in terms of issues. I think
Of course.
at least like on
Unreal Engine
console.
5.
I think PC is a bit worse, but a console I hear is not as bad. Pretty good.
That's typically what happens with UE5 games.
Yeah, I don't
From
know
everything
why
we've seen.
console usually fares better. Like people have like
Is it
50
because
series like 50 series and have some issues.
that is weird? Like I guess maybe because consoles are like more closed ecosystems or closed platforms, maybe developers just have an easier time with the engine. But then again, like you have early in the generation, there was UE5 games with major performance issues, like what the name of that game? But it was like a first person magic shooter.
Yeah, Immortals
But
Avium.
yeah, Mortals Avium, thank you. Like that had a lot of performance issues initially, so it is surprising to see how Unreal Engine has been working the past few years.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like some developers still can do a pretty good job with it. They just I don't know. I think it just requires a lot more resources than your typical engine. But also with the
So,
Mafia devs, their previous engine had a lot of issues too. So I think the Switch was good for them.
so what do you mean by issues? Like the game just did not run well, or
Oh, they run well, but I don't know. Like I replayed Mafia Remake right before Old Country, and like there's like some weird lighting bugs and stuff. Their games all have always been kind of problematic performancely in the past as well. Like even with their OG engine. Yeah, Mafia
well,
3 I
sorry for the
think had
noise earlier.
issues. But yeah, I'd say I highly recommend Mafia, and if it wasn't for Death Stranding 2, it probably would have been my goatee or second goatee.
Oh, that's right. I'm surprised you didn't put Expedition, but that's not really your type of game.
No. For my right now, my top three is Death Stranding, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and then Mafia, and then Split Fiction.
Awesome. Sorry for the noise earlier. I got myself some coffee.
And then
But yeah, I'm really happy to. happy to hear that you love the game so far. You really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna platinum it to be honest.
I mean, if you're done with it and only have some side stuff to do, you might as well.
Yeah, I think some of the trophies are like because you can like buy cars in this game, and there's just a lot of collectibles like split across, but it's pretty doable. And then I also replayed Mafia 1, the remake, definitive edition. I was
Hmm.
love revisiting a classic. They've made some changes. It's not exactly the same, but it's still a really good remake. And I think the story holds up. The gameplay has its dating because it's the first one, but overall, still a really good game that holds up. But yeah,
Do you think after playing the prequel, do you think that's better than the original, or they're both kind of
I like
equal
Old
quality
Country more.
wise? Nice.
But Mafia 2 is the best in the franchise in my opinion. Which I think then
All
I'm not gonna
right.
spoil it, but Old Country has some interesting ramifications. But yeah,
All right. So the Mafia series is on the list of the internal backlog.
yes, it should be. And I hope I hope they get a future. What's interesting is this was made like in 3.5 years, I want to say, Old Country, because they had layoffs in
So,
2021 because they had to cancel the live service superhero game.
mhm.
So but yeah, they turned this game around pretty quick for a smaller scope project.
Well, they could have potentially reused assets from older Mafia games, maybe,
Yeah, I'm
right?
sure
Or
they
no?
reused assets, but they also changed engines, so there's that. But you will recognize reused
Mhm.
animations,
Yeah.
especially like some of the melee takedowns. But yeah, it's pretty good. And I played on 30 frames, not 60.
Oh, you wanted the cinematic
Yeah, this is
experience,
more of a
right?
cinematic game. Oh, I forgot to mention they did what's called knife duels, which was they were pretty fun. Because the Mafia one, they just had like the end boss fights, which just like shootouts with like enemies, but they had like proper duels with knives. It's pretty good.
Hmm.
Because of old Sicilian Mafia, the way they settled stuff was like with knife duels, I believe. But I think this is a good way to kind of bring some energy back to the franchise by going back to where the Mafia basically started, Sicily or Italy.
So
Yeah,
you think we're gonna be getting the turnaround for the next one's gonna be pretty quick?
I don't know, because they said this was not a Mafia 4, this is kind of like a prequel, so a spin-off. So I would imagine they're going to go into a proper Mafia 4 now.
Mhm.
So
I could see that.
they said they learned that open world isn't their future, so I don't think it'll be open world, but I think it'll be bigger in scope. Maybe a longer linear game, like maybe 20 hours instead of 10.
Honestly, that's more than enough at this point.
Yeah. But honestly, I would like them to do more of these 10-hour experiences. You can just have like a Mafia game every 3, 4 years if you did this. But yeah.
I think that's probably the plan because they got Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Why do you have to make Mafia open world too?
Well, it doesn't have to be open world, but maybe they just want a more longer story. Because these cinematic set pieces take a lot of time. Like if you look at Naughty Dog games, those games aren't open world, but they take forever too.
That's true.
Yeah. But other games I've played this month were I've finished Outer Worlds and the DLCs. Pretty good overall. There's some double A energy. Some of the combat was lacking, but I like the writing, the world, and just the cast of characters. Pretty good. Just like the satire, space satire.
So you're getting ready for the sequel then?
Yeah, I'm all ready, especially now when it's 70.
Oh yeah, that's a fun story. Microsoft saw everyone being mad at them and like, oh okay, we're gonna back off.
I can't believe they did. Oh, it's part of the marketing that we're going down. They released like a marketing video.
That is ridiculous. It makes me hopeful that it kind of tells companies that $8 ain't it right now. Maybe
Battlefield's
wait
6
till
is
next
70 as
generation.
well.
Yeah, so I'm guessing next generation when the PS6 and the Series Wumbo comes out, that is when we'll get like the $8 games.
Yeah, I would expect that too. Looks like Sony held the
Outside
line.
of Grand Theft Auto,
Grand Theft Auto will get away with it.
they'll go. You guys have fun. That's what I'll say to that.
Yeah, and
But
then one more game I played was Death Stranding 2. He's finished
ooh.
and moved on. An absolute masterpiece, my game of generation at the moment. I'm glad to have.
Also, it's like it's the number one game, like the
Yeah,
top games you played this year, right?
yeah, it's my
Nice.
top game of the generation until next year
Wow,
with the GOAT, the GOAT of gaming. But
that's true.
yeah, it was a
But
very powerful
here
story.
goes the Yōtei.
No, I meant GTA 6.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was really good. Kojima cooked with his story. And as a sequel, it improved in almost every facet. Perfect sequel in my eyes. Doesn't change the game,
Are
but
they
it
nano?
enhances it.
Are they nano machines?
Yeah, but I think
Wow.
that's all the games I've played this month.
Yeah,
So
like outside of what I mentioned, it just a couple like indie games, random games on Switch. But I'll get into some of that when we want to, as the topics go on.
yeah. All right. Speaking of Yate, let's talk about the state of
Yeah,
play.
hey,
We
you
got
take this one
our
away.
first
Good
gameplay
game.
dive of Ghost of Yate. I'll just go over some brief gameplay features they talked about. There will be a new exploration system that allows you that caters to different playstyles, and there's an underlying clue system where you get get a freedom to choose which clue to go after first. Oftentimes, these clues can unlock regions that are maybe for later for the story. Combat is interesting because I don't know if you remember the first one had stances, or like each enemy had their own combat
Yep.
stance. But in here, each they change stances for weapon types now, so it's like the same system, but weapons are like you use each weapon to cater to different enemies. For the bigger
Some more
brutes,
variety then.
yeah, it's the same system, but you use different weapons instead of different like stances. I thought was like an interesting switch, and there will be customization, as they say, and some gameplay modes. They have the samurai mode and Kurosawa mode returning. There are two new additional ones called the Mike mode, which features closer camera during combat, along with enhanced blood and mud. The other is the Watanabe mode, which listens to lo-fi feats while exploring and engaging in battle, which I believe is inspired by one anime. I forget what it's called. I think they got like one of the composers from it too to help with this mode.
That's really cool. I saw when I saw that. I saw that in the. That was really cool. Like the fact that they have a way to kind of, you know, have some music variety as you're running around the open world. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah. They also announced on the PS5 console plate and controllers, which look very
I
neat.
assume those are the ones.
I'm assuming that's not gonna exist for the old PS5 version.
That's a shame. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was gonna buy that, but I realized, wait, I have the OG PS5.
Like what? You're not gonna buy a PS5 Slim just for plates. That's silly.
Yeah, they should have. I don't know, but I get it. Majority of people now have those versions. But I will get that controller for sure as a
Well,
Yate
I
main.
of course you're gonna.
And then I'm sure my co-host would love this story from Sucker Punch.
Absolutely. Let me read this. Let's see. As reported by Insider Gaming, Sucker Punch director would love to work on more Infamous, but can't. And they said let me look at the story real quick. So basically, he during an interview with Game Informer, discussing things about Ghost of Yaute and other matters related to the game. Nate, co-creative director Nate Fox, admitted he would love to see more Infamous, but because of organizational blockers, it's not going to happen anytime soon. He said, and I quote, "I would love to work on more Infamous. I'd love to see a trilogy be released, but Sucker Punch is a one game at a time shop, and right now we are very focused on finishing Ghost of Yaute. the Ghost of series and Infamous are poles apart when it comes to their delivery, but they're equally awesome and immersive, as stated by Insider Gaming and the genuine fact. And I guess this also extends to something like a Sly Cooper and other Sucker Punch franchises where they could come back, but Sucker Punch wants to make them, and they don't have the manpower to be developing two games at the same time.
Yeah,
It sucks to hear that, but at least,
maybe after
but
Ghost
when
though.
we're in,
Maybe they could do that
I
remaster.
kind of doubt that.
I don't know.
But
Since
yeah, I
they
see. If anything,
look at like
yeah,
how Naughty Dog they had to needed a project to keep their devs busy while they would figure out what the next game's gonna be.
I think what you suggested about like a remaster collection or a remake of Infamous 2 or 1 or something, I could easily see that happening because excuse me, like those are really important games, and they just kind of left to the wayside because the PS5 can't play PS3 games for right now, at least.
Yeah,
So this is the one area where like PC and Xbox it has a leg up on PlayStation, where if you want to play like the oldest installments of something, you can easily do that through backwards compatibility. On PlayStation, it's getting there. It is genuinely getting there with the PS1,
and
PS2,
PS2.
and PSP class. But we're waiting on PS3, and that's probably not happening until PS6. I wager.
Yeah,
But the fact that he's really talking about, hey, I would love to go back to this, but we're busy right now, is a lot better than we're not doing it. And that's something that, and when you have other studios like Noid Dog, where they just laser focus on Last of Us and their new IP and finding a way to remake Last of Us in a new spin somehow, it's nice to hear that a Sony studio with important legacy IP is, hey, we know you love this, we love it too, but we'll get to it when we can.
yep,
So respect on that.
yeah. The love isn't lost. Let's talk about more Ghost of Yate info. It will have about similar amount of content to Ghost of Tsushima. This
Hmm.
is what he says. Jason Connell, the other co-director, we designed the game with some of the similar numbers in terms of scale and scope of the last experience in mind. In that way, we actually found it to be quite satisfying that there will be some good numbers to jump off, he said. Ghost of Tsushima, for reference, is about 25 hours to compete and 60 hours to platinum, or 100%. He also added, we feel the experience of playing through Ghost of Yatsu, whether you're just ripping through the story or you're somebody that likes to go through the whole world and explore, or you're a hardcore platinum chaser. This is as a similar experience to Ghost of Tsushima we expect in terms of the time commitment. Glad to hear. 25 hours is kind of the perfect length, in my opinion.
It is.
Even for the people who don't finish.
Oh yeah, I assume you're talking about someone else, but there's one more Ghost of Yōtei story.
Yeah, we'll talk about the one of its navigation tool. Ghost of Yatei's shamisen will also act as a navigation tool. It will guide players through
That's a
certain
yeah,
types of
right.
things. Huh?
That's a music instrument, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. During an
Okay,
interview,
that's a nice part.
yeah, during an interview with IGN, again, Jason Connell opened up about this tool. Towards the end of the interview, Connell stated that he wanted to reveal something that hasn't been talked about much. Atsu Scheisman, an instrument in that protagonist carries. Kano added that in Ghost of Tsushima they have features in the game like a traveler's attire which will help players find content nearby. It was almost like a completion tool or a navigation tool in order to get through the world. This instrument will work in a similar fashion. Players will be able to learn new songs in open world, and these songs will guide them to certain types of things. For example, the song of vanity may guide players to cosmetics. Developers are excited to showcase this feature to players and let them experience it firsthand. Yeah, that's a pretty cool tool.
Interesting. I think so too.
What I
That's
noticed
it.
about
Sounds really
this
interesting.
state of play overall is there was a lot more focus on exploration this time around. Like combat
Well, I feel
had
like they
improvements,
probably.
but it was pretty similar. But the exploration kind of got the big jump.
Well, I guess they realized that combat was one of the stronger aspects of the original, so they just focused more on exploration since they could improve that more.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
you know more about the Ghost series
yeah.
than I do,
Combat was
so
very, very strong. Yeah, it seems like that was the pillar they wanted to focus on improving with their sequel, and a lot more player freedom as well. I've noticed they talked quite a bit about player freedom. Why don't you
Elden
take
Ring
this story
inspired. Oh,
away?
oh, all
Speaking
right,
of
so let
lack
me
of
open up
freedom,
the. Oh boy. Crafton says former Subnautica 2 leadership abandoned their responsibilities. As stated by Insider Gaming, Crafton, the publisher behind Subnautica 2, has responded to the concerns and claims circulating regarding the state of the game. With recent leadership changes at developer Unknown Worlds and the reported 250 million payout plan for developers later this year. In a scathing email sent to Insider Gaming, Crafton says that the former leadership, Charlie Cleveland, Max McGuire, and Ted Gill at the studio abandoned the responsibilities entrusted to them, leading to their dismissal. And Subnautica 2 was originally planned for early access launch in early 2024, but the timeline has since been significantly delayed, the Korean publisher said. Crafton made multiple requests to Charlie and Max to resume their roles as game director and technical director, respectively, but both declined to do so. In particular, following the failure of Moonbreaker, Crafton asked Charlie to devote himself to the development of Subnautica 2. However, instead of participating in the game development, he chose to focus on a personal film project. The statement concluded that Crafton believes the absence of core leadership has resulted in repeated confusion in direction and significant delays in the overall project schedule. And to follow up on this, um, Crafton confirms a Crafton confirms leaked Subnautica 2 dev document, who's been that was leaked out, and the document initially appeared on an unofficial Subnautica 2 subreddit and showed the state of the game's development for a May 2025 milestone update. And they said, and I quote, Crafton said, and I quote, the document that has been circulating on social media and reported by various outlets is indeed part of an internal milestone review conducted as part of Subnautica 2 project. Crafton has confirmed that portions of it have been leaked and are now in the wild, shared across online platforms and within the fan community. Crafton recognizes the confusion this has caused. And basically, the reason why it's important that the whole milestone reviews is let me just look this real quick. Okay. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm a little bit out of the loop on all this with Crafton.
yeah,
So,
same. I just seen it the last couple of days.
so So basically, this long story short about this whole situation is leadership kind of stalling development on the project, from the sounds of it at least, and the end result is Crafton is doing what they can to kind of delay the game so the developers who are working on it to get it out the door next year. But we'll see how things shake out. But
Yeah, and then Krafton isn't a fan of early access, it appears.
so did you play Subnautica? I never
I've never
played it
played it
before.
either.
Hmm. I
But
guess
yeah,
this is kind of an example
I think this is a
of
story they'll still develop as time goes on.
absolutely, and I guess this is a case of just a story of mismanagement, but Crafton stepped in early enough in the process to kind of make sure that the project got turned around instead of floundering for years and a
Yeah.
public cancellation being.
Yep.
Surely I'm not alluding to something we're not talking about later.
Yeah.
But
Let's talk about
anyway,
another developer,
oh yes,
Judas.
you take it away.
BioShock director Ken Levine says Judas is old school and has no monetization or live service. In an interview with
Hmm.
via the Night Dash Studios YouTube channel, Levine said Judas is a very old school game. You buy the game and you get the whole thing. There's no online component, there's no live service because everything we do is in service of telling the story and transferring the player. Yeah,
I just think he's making these comments for a game that is what we assume to be very Bioshock coded,
yep,
and the original game didn't have any multiplayer to speak of, and Infinite didn't get multiplayer after like people didn't really click with the multiplayer in two.
yeah,
So,
glad to hear that. We'll talk about some
hmm
Bioshock related live service mishaps later.
oh, absolutely. But we got a fun story to talk about right here. I'll take over this
Yes,
one.
Mr. Turn-based, you can.
So, absolutely. So, Square Enix, as reported by Insider Gaming, Square Enix producer discusses Final Fantasy 16 and it potentially having turn-based combat or not. And when recently spoken about the future of the next Final Fantasy games, people were commenting, were kind of saying, Collab Expedition 33 basically made a lot of people say, hey, we want like a turn-based, realistic RPG, mature setting, turn-based traditional combat, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, yeah, more games like Expedition are cool. But at the same time, Square Enix had addressed the commentary and feedback on this, and they said initially, looking at the success of one of Square Enix investors recently mentioned that they would like the new Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy games to be turn-based. However, the longtime producer for the series doesn't have a clear-cut answer for that right now. And then he continued with during an interview on with Anime News Network, Final Fantasy producer Naoki Yoshida. I can't say Japanese words. Was asked whenever the next mainline Final Fantasy games would be drawing inspiration from Expedition 33. Yoshida explained that with turn-based versus action, it tends to isolate the gameplay to just the battle system. As a result, it doesn't take into account what kind of game the creators want to deliver to players. He elaborated that the game systems are designed around graphical quality and the narrative that the developers wish to deliver to the players. These include the battle system, game design, and gameplay feel. Hence, it is not a clear-cut answer whenever it will become all turn-based or if it's all going to become more action-based. And Yoshida also explained that he is not necessarily going to be on Final Fantasy 17, and that's why they do not wish to obstruct or limit the future director or producer of Final Fantasy 17 and 18 by promising turn-based or action-based combat. And the reality is, Final Fantasy hasn't had turn-based combat since Final Fantasy 10. That was the last one that 10, 10 2 are the last ones to really embrace turn-based combat. Those games came out in the early 2000s. Final Fantasy 12, that was MMO-based action combat system. Final Fantasy 13, a different take on the traditional combat systems from the Final Fantasy games, but it definitely wasn't turn-based. 13.2 elaborated on that. 13 Lightning Returns basically was like an action game with with RPG elements. Um, Final Fantasy 14 was an MMO, so you couldn't do turn-based. And then 15 was an open world action game made off the skeleton of Versus 13 that we all know the story of at this point, where Nomura took too long and someone else had to finish the job. That's not the full story, but that's just like the abbreviated version of it. But and then 16 clearly was just an action game with very light RPG elements. So it's been, I don't know, almost well over 10 to 15 plus years since Final Fantasy has for the number of games have had a turn-based combat system. And if you want to look at other Final Fantasy, you had the 7 remake games had turn-based elements in the combat system, but they weren't turn-based. They were action games, but you could freeze time and select a command if you wanted to. Um, and like you have other Final Fantasy spin-offs like World of Final Fantasy, which it was a turn-based game. And obviously, Dragon Quest is always going to be turn-based. I'll be very surprised if the next one isn't. But the reality is, as much as Final Fantasy fans complain about, we want turn-based Final Fantasy. We want Final Fantasy to be just like Clair Obscura. Okay. Um, you played Octopath Traveler. You played Triangle Strategy. You played the Dragon Quest HD 2D remakes. You got your turn-based Final Fantasy right there. It may not have Final Fantasy in the name, but in a lot of ways, those are like successors to Final Fantasy. You have a lot of other indie games and other smaller and other publishers taking their stab at the two turn-based combat. And if you're not happy with Final Fantasy, hey, Atlas is right over there with the metaphors and the personas. So it just annoys me when people complain about Final Fantasy not having like a traditional turn-based combat system when it does. The other Square Enix games do have it. People just choose not to talk about them because Final Fantasy is in the title, and it just kind of dours the positive aspects of the Final Fantasy games that aren't one to one what people are screaming for. It's why when people complain about 16, I'm just kind of going, oh, you're just complaining that you're saying it's not a Final Fantasy game. Well, the box says Final Fantasy. So I mean, okay, I could. Let's yeah. You can make the argument. Oh, it's like calling my co-host Seahawk an Xbox. He's not an Xbox. He's a human being. But I'm trying to make a joke and I'm failing miserably. But the point I'm getting at is like people. If a game can be what it wants to be, and it's not fair to just limit like and just create set expectations for things when a developer can do something else with it. And I think Square Enix should do a turn-based Final Fantasy. Don't mistake my words. I just don't think demanding that the next mainline game is a turn-based game is not the right call. Maybe like a spin-off Final Fantasy game made with the HD 2D technology. I mean, we're going to talk about it later. There's more HD 2D games in development. Surely, what's stopping the next Final Fantasy remake, like 9 or 10 or whatever, to be made with that engine? What's stopping that from happening?
Yeah.
So I've rambled too long.
Yeah. In my honest opinion, as a person who doesn't like turn-based, make more 16. That's all I have to say.
I would love a 16 too. Please. Please.
Just anything
I
in
would love a
style of
16
16
too.
is all I say.
Just one more game in that universe. I'll be very happy.
Alright, let me take this one.
Of course.
As the modern goat of PlayStation Studios, let's talk about Santa Monica. Cory Barlog's upcoming game is reportedly Santa Monica's next big thing, but it appears from Jason Schreier saying that it's not an original IP, but part of an existing IP. Which nobody I'm not sure what they're doing, because it could be anything. It could be something in the Sony movie backlog, or some PlayStation franchise, or something a God of War spinoff, but it's kind of interesting how it's not a new IP. What do you think?
I mean, they worked on Twisted Metal before Santa Monica,
Yeah, I don't think it's Twisted
but
Metal.
they can't do Twisted Metal now.
Yeah. I would think it would be cool
If I were to guess,
if they took some
go
movie
ahead.
franchise like that Sony owns, you know? Because
Hmm.
Sony Pictures has a lot of franchises under their belt.
So you're thinking they're making like a tie-in type game,
Yeah.
maybe?
Well, yeah. I believe someone said it's not licensed, but since Sony owns it, they don't have to license it.
Since God of War has third-person shooting elements when you throw the axe, what's stopping them from making a Men in Black
Yeah,
game?
yeah, yeah, I know. That's what I thought too. But yeah, they have a.
That would be really.
That would be cool. Remember, that was a rumor for a while
What
that
other?
Ben would be making a Men in Black game, but we found out. I think it was not Men in Black. It's the Siphon Filter thing, I think. But yeah, that would be
I'm
cool.
trying to think what other. Does Sony own Top Gun? Or that's
No,
Paramount?
that's Paramount.
Okay. They own Ghostbusters, I think. Sony, right?
Uh,
No, I don't think so. Yeah, if it's like a Sony Pictures like franchise, Men in Black would be pretty cool.
it would be.
I could see Santa Monica doing some good work with that. In
Yeah.
terms of like
Apparently
a
they own
Sony
Breaking Bad. I did not
game,
know that.
they own Breaking Bad.
I don't know. I'm on Wikipedia on Sony Picture franchises, and this came up. Yeah. Did you own
I
Ghostbusters? It
have
appears.
I have an idea. Santa Monica Studios presents Breaking Bad. You have Walter White and Jesse Pinkman, and it plays just like God of War, like literally dot for dot, beat for beat, bar for bar. Instead of an axe, it's a pipe, and you have Jesse being the melee
Hey,
guy,
they own the
and
Karate Kid
Walter
too.
cooking. Ooh, that could be a good one too. I just
They
like.
have the Smurfs too.
Oh, okay. I see what's happening. Yeah, I see what's happening. Santa Monica Studios presents The Smurfs. It plays just like God of War. It is super
Hey,
serious. It is
Rambo.
super emotional.
Rambo.
Yes, but I like my idea. I like my idea a lot because it's really
Wait,
funny.
they own
You
RoboCop?
have I have this mental picture in my head of Papa Smurf dying in Smurfette's arms, and he's saying, "This is a Smurf." And then it cuts to Smurfette picking up like a bloody staff, and she's beating the crap out of things. It's beautiful. Get on that.
Hey, Mall Cop. Let's get Mall Cop game.
RoboCop. Okay, jokes aside, we got two RoboCop games, and from
Yeah, they don't
apparently
own
this.
RoboCop. I checked.
Okay,
Yeah. But
but
yeah, I'm
Ghostbusters
curious what they could
or
own.
Men in Black would be really good fits, honestly.
Yeah. Or maybe it's some niche
But
franchise in Sony's backlog they have that they can just like reboot.
that's that too.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because this is it's gonna be a Cory Barlog passion project, so wonder what he wants to do.
If it's Breaking Bad, I'm gonna lose it because I love Breaking Bad. That would be so cool.
Who
You have
owns
car
it?
chases. You have a lot of cooking. Cooking in the lab. You beating up people
Yeah,
with pipes, shooting.
Sony Pictures
Beautiful. Let's
Television
go.
owns the Breaking Bad franchise. Yeah, that's nice.
You heard it here, folks. Press X Code and Culture Scoop. Santa Monica Studios working on a Breaking Bad video game. Let's go. Parentheses, we're joking.
Hey, I would love Breaking Bad game. Did you know actually the creator of Breaking
I'll
Bad
love.
pitched making a TV show in the GTA universe? Yeah,
Ooh,
but I think Rockstar rejected it, but I was like, oh, that would have been cool.
that would be sick.
Yeah. Let's talk about.
All right, Paul, I guess I'll
Let's.
take
Why don't you take this one, Mr. Microsoft? Mr.
Mr.
Microsoft Gaming.
Microsoft. Okay. Yeah, I'm an Xbox and you're a PlayStation. All right, that's how this works, I suppose. So,
Hey, this is an Xbox
Microsoft.
too.
Oh boy. Oh, we're not trying to steal other podcast names anyway.
This is an
Uh,
Xbox.
Okay, is this an Xbox?
Yes, it is. This is an Xbox.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Let's talk
I
about
love
Blackbird.
having Xbox. Oh yes, I'm getting distracted. Speaking of Xbox too, Jez Corden spoke about Microsoft decision. It's a transition, bro. Come on, you gave me the article to read. Jez Corden of the Xbox Two podcast spoke about Microsoft's decision to cancel ZeniMax Online Studios project, Blackbird MMO that had been in development for years. According to him, the decision to cancel the game was a situation where Microsoft had to decide if they wanted to continue spending money on a game that may or may not compete with games like World of Warcraft, or would the money be better suited on focusing on a established franchise. Ches Gordon said, and I quote, "From what I heard, it was a case of trade-offs and that the program to expand Fallout 5 and just Fallout in general, and that is where they've decided to make the investments and where the money will be translated into more of a surefire win." He also added that he's been told Fallout 5 has been greenlit for full production while openly wondering if a new studio could work on a Fallout game. It is worth mentioning, however, that Corden says he doesn't have enough information for a full story on where things stand with Fallout, or if they would form a new team to work on the next game in the series. And to kind of add on to this, um, a former Obsidian developer, the name escapes me. He commented on, like, because he's aware of when he left Obsidian, he was
You mean
aware
Chris Avalon?
of all their Yeah, thank you. Professional podcasting. My co-host is more informed than me. Um, he commented on the Fallout announcement. Everyone's, oh, Obsidian's making it, and he made a comment of, I know what they're working on, and Fallout isn't one of the projects that was in production while I was there.
Oh yeah, but it could be
So
pushed
the
right now.
implication, that sure could be pitched. I'm guessing the game plan is we're getting the Fallout 3 remake is being fast tracked for to release alongside the season 2 of the TV show next year. Um, it will get a proper announcement of a new Fallout game at the next Xbox showcase, and we will probably get a smaller Fallout spin-off either that holiday, assuming the next Fallout game is not coming out for the next like 2-3 years. Let's
Yeah.
be real. Or like the spin-off is set for 2027. So next year we'll start seeing more Fallout for sure. But I get the business decision. I really do. At the same time, it sucks that a developer with a proven track record can't make what they want to make, even though they deserve to be able to make the game they want to make. It sucks. And
Yeah, I don't
hopefully,
know what's going on. Such an easy dub.
I don't know, bro. It just, I guess we'll just bounce from this Xbox story to another Microsoft gaming story, so we can just get it out of the way. 200 King staff laid off at Xbox will be replaced by AI internal memo reveals. And let me just read the full email, which was provided to Mobile Gamer Biz and reported on by Insider Gaming. The email reads, "Why is this?" I'm gonna just be. I initially as well gonna be reading a stupid voice, but this is a somber situation, so I'm gonna be. Why is this happening? The industry is changing fast, and our business has not been growing. When that happens, we must not only look outside at competitors in the market, but also inside. As we've talked about before, we are making several changes to get the business back to growth. Unlocking many more AI tools is one recent example. Investing in marketing this year is another. We are fortunate to have many talented individuals at King, but we also have a collective problem. The size and structure of the company have often makes it difficult to get things done. So we plan to simplify the organization, fewer layers, fewer overlapping limits, fewer hours spent on alignment, fewer people in meetings, fewer stakeholders for every project. Many leaders across Kingdom have been asked to redesign their organizations to be smaller overall. There'll be some new roles created in these redesigns and some rebalancing of headcount across King. But overall, King will be a small company. And in addition, according to various sources, around 9,000 jobs were affected by in the recent Microsoft layoffs, which were the fourth round of layoffs in the past 18 months. This round saw potentially thousands of jobs affected at Xbox's gaming division, with several projects closing down. Oh, we mentioned that a little bit ago. And the people that got laid off at King, who made the AI tools, they're being replaced by the tools that they made.
Oof.
Welcome to the game industry, everyone. How can I help you?
So I want to look at what's like what the Keen has made in recent, and like most of their new stuff all got discontinued. It appears. The only
Yeah, the
the
main
only thing
moneymaker.
that's alive right now is a Candy Crush spin-off, Candy Crush Solitaire.
Yeah,
But they did make a Crash Bandicoot game in 2021.
they did. It was Crash on the Run, but didn't last for too long.
Yeah, they made an RPG, a mobile
Hey, that,
RPG, a turn-based free-to-play RPG.
hmm.
Yeah.
It's just sad when make these tools and these tools replace them.
Mhm.
That is terrifying to think about.
I didn't know this. They're Swedish. They're
Wow.
based in Sweden.
So they're from this. Same with Mojang, right?
Yeah. They also have a one in office in England. They have nine
Wow.
studios. Well, it says they have nine
Hmm.
studios and offices. Or I guess they did pre-layoffs. I don't know
Well,
what.
hopefully everyone gets back on their feet. But at this point, when it comes to layoffs, that's the only thing we can really say at this point. Like we can be upset and stuff, but why be upset when we this is just gonna happen again? So the only thing we can really do is just hope that people who got laid off find jobs in a better industry, or they find jobs in a more secure part about the game industry.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Mafia again.
Yes,
Mafia, the old country, devs removed open world because of Mafia 3. Let's see what they say. But in defense of not having an open world in Mafia, the old country, Hainer 13 pointed the blame at Mafia 3 for falling short of expectations. In response, Hainer 13 president Nick Baines claimed that Mafia Old Country goes back to the roots of what fans love about the franchise. Baines also had other reasons for moving on from an open world. IGN had an exclusive hands-on preview and learned why Hainer 13 decided not to use open world. Nick Baines repeatedly mentioned his team's desire for players to finish the prequel story. He explained, with that goal in mind, the latest Mafia game churns back the clock chronologically and in game design as well. Mafia 3, though very good, went full open world and developers seemed to feel similarly about it in hindsight as players did. It just didn't fit Mafia well. And he's not wrong. Completely accurate.
but this is a series you played, so I trust your like
Yeah,
commentary on it.
with the popularity of the remake back in 2020, which was linear as well, I think they saw where the series was going. Yeah, we're excited they've made the right decision and they understand what Mafia is now.
That's good. It's good that they kind of realized the scope the game should be in, and again, it's a game under the 2K umbrella. When
Yeah,
they got Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption,
technically,
you don't.
Grand Theft Auto isn't in 2K.
Okay, okay,
Only take
technicality, but they're
because the
kind of
Rockstar is their own
under the
publisher.
same. They're kind of in the same circle? Question mark.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah. Isn't it funny how
it
Rockstar
makes
is the
sense.
only publisher and they make only one game a generation? What a publisher.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they're
yeah, it's
publishing
gonna be
next gen
great.
as well, so they are a publisher.
I mean, Well, they made you first two Max. Well, they published the first
Yeah,
two Max Payne,
yeah,
so
yeah.
makes sense.
That's why they're their own publishing label instead of publishing under 2K. But yeah, let's talk about Rockstar Games as we are. Rockstar Games shuts down Social Club, which was a feature from GTA 5. Kind of interactive website element that could work with GTA 5. Rockstar Games Insider Video Tech UK report that Rockstar Games Social Club has come to an end. The URL for the website redirects to the homepage. Currently, viewing profiles, walls, photos, videos, viewing from users are gone. But could be part of new plans to introduce a new platform, perhaps GTA 6. Some
Hmm.
features included joining and creating crews, creating and sharing custom content such as races and missions, and accessing the GTA Online stock market. While novel, the service didn't age well and users reported serious issues with using it. Social Club was incredibly outdated with more cases of crews being hijacked and accounts being targeted easily. They're most likely finally working on a new platform. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, Titan's pretty old, so I understand why it's shut down.
And then a lot of people complain about this too.
Yeah,
I remember correctly.
yep. But it was one of the ways
So I
like
guess it's
the user generated content was made. Like you create your custom races. You do it through a social club, I believe. But yeah, I'm sure they're working because GTA 5 is super dated. It's like opening a menu with a 10-minute screen to a menu. So like, yeah, they need to improve the smoothness of it in terms of online. But yeah, I don't you take this away. You love Surgeon Studios.
oh, absolutely. I didn't realize that this game was so close, but Surgeon Studios, team behind 2024 Tales of Kinzera Zao, has revealed the intimate release date for their all-new psychological horror game, Dead Take. It's coming much sooner than you think, launching exclusively on PC. It is one of the first titles to be published by Pocket Pair's new label. Dead Take emerges as a prominent time, especially considering the game's subject matter. In a statement, Surgeon Studios, I don't want to butcher this man's name, so I'm just going to Sergeant Studio Celine revealed it had been a chance for the actors involved to bleed out the darkness they've experienced in the industry. And the description for that take includes find your missing friend, uncover the secrets of Finn, brave the luxurious and haunting mansion in Dead Take, a first person psychological horror crafted by Surgeon Studios. Night falls and you still won't pick up the phone. You arrive at the mansion, the last place you went. It's oddly quiet for the site of a glamorous party the night before. Your invite must have gotten lost in the mail. In any case, you make your way inside to find your friend. Actors have to look out for each other in this industry. And this horror is a world away from Tales of Kinzera Zao, Surgeon's first game we saw a success in 2024 and went on to win multiple awards. It was revealed along with Dead Takes release date that the team taking part in the project is hugely prestigious and prolific, with the following actors lending their talent to the game: Neil Newborn, Ben Starr, Jen Perry, Al- Alina Pierce, Laura Bailey, Matthew Mercer, Sam Lake, Travis
Sam
William,
Lake.
C. Dor. Wow,
They're not.
that's a lot of people.
I did not notice that
Damn.
Sam Lake was in it. That's crazy.
Whoa, this is a lot of people. My goodness. Whoa.
Yeah, I did not
Okay,
expect. I did
makes
not
sense.
expect Sam
Okay.
Lake or Alana Pierce.
Wow. Yeah, that is wow. So yeah, man, like this is a very ambitious game, and we'll be playing it soon.
Yep.
Glad I got a gaming laptop. Wow,
Yeah.
I guess Ben Starr is like in every major game.
You name in a Sony game next.
Expedition, now this. Wow,
Well, let's talk about 007. They
you take it away.
reveal Uh-oh, I don't. Oh, there it is. The link works. Okay. So first light dev reveals how Hitman has influenced the game. During an interview with VGC, director, franchise director Jonathan Lakyle discusses how Hitman influenced it. He elaborates that if Hitman is about being more methodical, 007 First Light is about making you think fast under pressure. The developer will provide players a sense of forward momentum, where they will often find themselves thinking about options, like going right or left, defeating all guards and letting them live. Does the situation need you to blow your cover, and more. The game will feature a blend of open moments and linear moments, where when the developers are taking us to an era, they will kind of drive the players through it. When it makes sense to open up, they will do so as well. Developers also want to incorporate some very big stunts and cinematic moments, so they will have to go a bit more linear in that way. 007 First Light will feature replayability like Hitman. He explains that 007 will feature replayability as it's in the DNA of the studio. But it will be done in a very different way. Players will also have the option to tackle a mission, allowing them to revisit specific scenarios with new approaches and strategies. For example, picking up the guard you need to track could open up different routes. Additionally, there may be multiple ways to access a single room. He also mentions passive and offensive gadgets, and they have built new systems from scratch. They are benefiting from everything they have done in the past with Hitman, but many new features and systems are being built for 007 from scratch. The director explained that James Bond is very different from Agent 47 in terms of gameplay and the fantasy, and we want to tell with the characters, which is why these new systems have been built. For example, none of the previous Hitman games had driving, but 007 does. The Glacier engine makes it easy to port the Switch 2. Interesting point Lackow covered was the Switch 2 port. The director explained that they have an amazing engine, the Glacier engine, which allows them to bring the game to many platforms as possible with limited friction. At the same time, AOI thinks the Switch 2 is a powerful device, powerful enough for us to bring First Light natively. Yep. Any thoughts?
For a couple of things. One, it's clear that this is going to be like a proper this is going to be a proper like successor to GoldenEye 007 in the way that the mission structure is like you have like a lot of missions to complete. That's how GoldenEye was kind of structured, where the higher the difficulty, the more missions you have to complete to beat the level. And that aligns really well with what you described and what that development team is known for. The second thing is this is another case of the studio coming out and saying the Switch 2 is more than capable of being Series S level hardware for for a handheld, and that's impressive. Obviously, results are kind of it depends on the studio. Like for IO Interactive specifically, Hitman doesn't run at a consistent frame rate at its max target. But apparently, if you kind of set the Switch resolution to like 720p at 1080p, like within the system settings, you unlock a proper like performance mode, and the game runs better. So maybe with the like longer development time for this one in comparison to like the Hitman port, it's probably going to be a little bit more optimized and play better on Switch 2, since they have more time with the hardware.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ubisoft for a bit, and let's talk about bad successors.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Charles Guillemot, Ubisoft intends to appoint Charles Guillemot and Christopher Derenes as co-CEOs in this new subsidiary. Charles Guillemot is the son of Yves Guillemot, I believe. So we have
Mm-hmm.
nepotism here. In an email sent to staff, Guillemot says that the subsidiary with Tencent is part of Ubisoft's broader reorganization, which we will structure into creative houses. With that in mind, I am pleased to announce Christopher Derenes and Charles Guillemot will be the new co-CEOs of the first creative house. While continuing at first, Hughes implies in the email that Ubisoft will be separated into multiple creative houses, which will be in charge of different games and IPs within Ubisoft. And another thing we have here, I think, is use Gumat's internal memo to staff on new creative houses. Hello, everyone. I'm writing to you from the Montreal studio to officially announce the creation of the new subsidiary that has been discussed over the past few weeks. It felt important to be it felt important to be close to the teams and talents who contributed to the extraordinary rise of the incredible brands Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, who are at the heart of this new structure. The subsidiary is part of Ubisoft's broader reorganization which will structure into creative houses. It is the first in a new organizational ecosystem. I wanted a complementary duo at the head of the subsidiary, and one that can ensure continuity at Ubisoft and embodies collaboration between generations. With that in mind, I am pleased to announce again Christopher Dorenis and Charles Gumat will be the co-CEOs. Christoph is well known to you for his extensive experience, his hands-on leadership, his role in developing the Montreal studio, and his impact on the games created there. Charles brings insurmountable spirit, a deep understanding of innovation dynamics, a passion for games that promise to help put players and their expectations at the heart of our approach, and of course, the family continuity he represents. Their mission will be to make these three brands global entertainment benchmarks across all platforms. Charles will be responsible for the three brands, meaning their game content, their direction and development as brands, their marketing and commercial performance. The headquarters of the new entity will be based in France, with Charlie managing the relationship between France and Canada. You can read more here. But yeah, what do you think?
To be honest, I just heard just a lot of nonsense talk.
It really was.
Not from you.
I know.
No, just you did a good job reading the full statement, but it just kind of went over my head a little bit.
Yeah, it's just posturing.
But
Yeah, we'll make this into the next level gaming franchises of the entertainment. It was a whole lot of nothing.
hopefully they got success. I don't have much to add other than
I
that,
have very
honestly.
little faith in them. Very little. Why don't you talk about Virtuous?
Oh yes, let me open up the article.
Here's a
So,
studio that's actually been successful.
oh yeah, so Virtuos, the studio behind Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, and Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater as a support studio, has been hit with mass layoffs. First reported by Gunther Andres, and taken from Insider Gaming. 300 people, or 70% of the company's workforce, are set to be let go across various locations in the US, Asia, Europe, and three branches in France. And they provided an update that said Virtuos has confirmed in a statement that it has let go a number of employees in what it calls a restructuring. So the reality is, despite the success of games like the Oblivion remaster, Virtuos commented and said Virtuos has a policy of overspending on quality along with royalty-free contract. The contract had no bonuses tied to the game's success, likely leaving money on the table for the studio. The result, teams put under severe strain for a purely showcase game whose profitability is to be questioned. It said that after Oblivion's development, Virtuos put a freeze on raises along with production bonuses, leading to questions from staff to management regarding layoffs. Upon news of layoffs, Andreas says that a strike is taking place at Virtuos Leon to protest the layoffs and protect the future capacity of the branch. It is also mentioned that the studio has been moving towards generative AI use.
Oh,
In 1 year, we gone real group level presentations to basic but mandatory training for employees, a source told Andreas. In addition to Elder Scrolls, Virtuos has been working as a support studio for Metal Gear Solid, Delta, Snake Eater. And yeah, so despite the company's big hit with Oblivion, they they still got hit with layoffs. It just continues to happen in this industry. Success, failure, doesn't matter. You're still gonna be hit with layoffs one way or another.
yeah, but that company is also super huge.
Yeah,
They
when put in context, 7% is 300 people. That's insane.
they employ over 4,200 people. So yeah,
Damn.
their headquarters in Singapore. But yeah, sad to see. I didn't know they worked on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Nier Automata, Midnight Suns, Dark Souls remastered, and Fortnite.
There's support studio, probably just as a support studio capacity or helping with porting. I wouldn't be surprised if they helped with porting the Jedi Survivor game to PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise.
Well, I wish the best to those devs, and I'll be enjoying Metal Gear
Absolutely.
later this month.
I just hope you enjoy it, brother.
Yeah, I've been on the Kojima high lately. The man doesn't miss.
Of course.
Let's talk about Call of Duty, a Microsoft gaming franchise.
All right, you take over, and I'll be right back.
Alright, so Microsoft Gaming will have Modern Warfare 4 next year, and after that, in 2027, Sledgehammer will be working on a new sub-franchise. It will be modern, but new. Let's see, exclusive from a Call of Duty leaker who's pretty consistent leaker, who gets a lot right, so I think he's pretty reliable. It will not be Advanced Warfare 2, their next game, but will be set in a completely new sub-franchise during the modern era. No jetpacks, but moving is to be a big focus. Zombies is not currently planned for the game. More so, yeah, zombies will be skipped. Developers will be bringing back Get High. Lastly, there will be a focus on martial arts within the gameplay. Players might be able to use karate kicks and karate chops, as players should take this information with a grain of salt. It doesn't come from an official source. But yeah, that is pretty exciting. A new franchise from Call of Duty. Not just nostalgia bait with Modern Warfare and Black Ops, which released back-to-back games now with Modern Warfare 2 and 3, now Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Sledgehammer is able to pull because they haven't gotten a chance to make something in a while. They've been working on like follow-ups with Modern Warfare 3, just a lot of rushed titles, but I think they will get a full year dev cycle this time around. Let's talk about Contraband. This is an older story, but we'll update it later. Jobs listings show Contraband is in development as of July 17th. As of as of that date, Avalanche was looking for a product lead for the game. Specifically, they wanted a lead for its live service aspects, confirming that part. The description was you are responsible for player acquisition, engagement, retention, and monetization strategy of our live service. You will also be a key stakeholder development team on new live feature content, platform capabilities, and represent live towards our publisher. Your primary focus will be prioritizing development roadmap and ensuring all releases meet their targets. I say this will be updated later because in a later story, we find out Contraband has been cancelled officially. So it is kind of sad to read this story. We were still hoping it was still in development, but this game has kind of been probably in trouble for a while, I suspect. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed. The live-action series has officially been ordered by Netflix. We had an announcement with Ubisoft about a Netflix series a while ago, but it seems like they got the premise down and they're ordering the series. Be led by Roberto Patino and David Weiner as showrunners and exclusive producers. It almost comes almost 5 years since the series officially started development. In a press release on the news, the showrunners say they've been fans of the series since the first game in 2007. They said they are both excited and humbled by the possibilities. Beneath the scope, the spectacle, the parkour, and the thrills is the baseline for the most essential kind of a human story about people searching for purpose, struggling with questions of identity, destiny, and faith, they said. Of the new series moving forward, Margaret Boykin of Ubisoft Film and Television said that they're looking forward to delivering an experience that speaks to the heart of what fans love about Assassin's Creed while introducing its unforgettable worlds and timeless themes to new audiences. There is not a lot of detail of the show, but it will be centered on the secret war between two shadowy factions, one set on determining mankind's future through control and manipulation, while the others fight to preserve the free will. The series follows its characters across pivotal historical events as they battle to shape humanity's destiny. There is no release date, but this will be the first live-action production from Netflix of a Ubisoft property. The other productions like Rabbids Invasion and Splinter Cell Deathwatch are animated. As an Assassin's Creed fan, I'm skeptic, but I hope it works out for them. Assassin's Creed would be nice to get a good adaptation from it after that not very good adaptation movie. And I hope they don't just retell Ezio's story and tell a new story. Let's talk about Grand Theft Auto 5. Launches in Saudi Arabia, but you need to be 21 to play it, finally. After 12 years on the market, Grand Theft Auto is officially available for purchase in the Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. Earlier this month, it was revealed that the game would be launching in these countries after more than a decade on the market, and that day has finally arrived. The transformative launch of a game that has been long controversial in the region has prompted localized rating boards to drum up a new age requirement for the game. 21 or bust. GTA 5 in Saudi Arabia and UAE carries a 21 certificate, which has rating never seen it before anywhere in the world. It's unique to Grand Theft Auto 5 and is full indicative how scandalous the game's content is in the region. With a post on the PlayStation Arabia page on X, the launch of GTA 5 was publicized. In translation, experience the ultimate entertainment with Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online, rated in plus 21 in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, available on July 17 on PlayStation 5. However, not everyone in Saudi Arabia were happy about this news. While the game has been obtainable in these countries for years via alternate means, this marks the first launch for the 2013 open world title. One user criticized the game's constituted 21 rating means nothing. If it gets rated 21, does not make it halal, or what's the deal? My dear, either force Rockstar to remove explicit scenes in nightclubs or save your efforts for something better. Another user pointed out one of the key flaws in the release, and that's the lack of translation and localization. What's the point if it's without translation? I mean, few people here know the language, and you make it English. So yeah, it's kind of wild. I never knew that it was never in Saudi Arabia. I hope players enjoy it if they're playing it for the first time, or if they're just finally getting an official version to play. I hope they enjoy it as well.
Oh, hello. I
Hello.
am sorry for waiting for X amount of time.
Yeah.
My co-host, I did a great job taking over while I was absent for a little while. Anything you want me to chime in on, or
Yeah.
ready to move on?
We covered a couple stories. A couple Call of Duty
Oh,
27 will have a new sub-franchise.
okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
I
modern
expect,
era, but
honestly,
a focus on kung fu apparently and martial arts.
uh, hmm. Well, Call of Duty has been kind of experimenting with like more less realistic art styles and stuff, and like the collaboration DLC and stuff. So
Yeah,
makes sense that they're more willing to be experimental about some stuff. But
yeah, but it's the
I
first time
saw,
they've done a new franchise in a while, because it's usually just been
yeah, it's
Black
been
Ops
years.
and Modern Warfare.
It's, you know, it's interesting that one of our stories says It's about a job listing about Contraband,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I kind of heard how
like
that story aged well.
that is. I have no comments with the Assassin's Creed series other than I hope Netflix does it justice. But
Yeah,
for Contraband, it's another case of Microsoft revealing something too early, the game being canceled, and this is another example of that.
yeah,
And I didn't think games were on. The writing was on the wall for all this, and it's just
unfortunate.
Microsoft. If you're listening to this, please stop announcing games and canceling them 4 to 5 years later. Thank you.
Yeah, we also
At this point, there's
covered.
nothing else to say about it.
Oh, go ahead.
But take it away, buddy. I'm sorry if I
Okay.
interrupted anything.
We also discussed GTA 5 coming to Saudi Arabia
Hmm.
for the first time officially, but there is no translation or localization, so there is that. Any thoughts?
GTA 5 being released yet again somewhere else.
Yeah, but it's never been
That's
there, so
good.
yeah. It's
Okay,
age
so
21 rating.
wow. I guess blowing people up and manically driving around cars, shooting people, running people over is not appropriate for kiddos.
Yeah.
Good to know.
One user criticized the ratings. Says, if it gets rated 21, does that make it halal or what's the deal? My dear, either force Rockstar to treat with explicit scenes in nightclubs or save your efforts for something better.
In that case, if you're making a Grand Theft Auto game for adults only, that region should have an exclusive hot coffee mode.
uh,
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Good surface area adults only. Surely they're allowed to have a hot coffee mod or hot coffee
uh,
mode.
let's talk about Saber. They teased a new Hellraiser
Oh,
game, which was shortly revealed by Saber as well. Any history of Hellraiser, sir?
not particularly, but it's a legacy horror franchise and it's an important one.
Yeah, I never heard of it personally. What is it about? Okay, it says right here it's a single-player survival title that will put you in the dark world of Clive Barker's twisted imagination.
Mm-hmm.
It's a smutty romp that breaks down into horrific gore within a matter of seconds, serving an introduction to a game that promises to shock players. You will play as Aiden, the protagonist in the story who must fight with various melee and ranged weapons and use mythical powers of the Genesis configuration to take down unholy enemies. Find a way to survive your bargain with infamous Pinhead and help your girlfriend Sunny escape the never as simple as it seems world in a world filled with Cenobites, cultists, and deviants in the realm of torture and pains of the labyrinth. Well, it looks like Saber's on a
Sounds good.
roll recently.
Absolutely, man. They've been killing it. You had a Space Marine, two, this.
KOTOR
Keep it up.
eventually.
Mm. For Maddie's sake, KOTOR.
Alright. Destiny 2 lead says Bungie is trying to improve player experience as Edge of Fate underperforms. Edge of Fate sees a
Hmm.
huge drop off in players. There's a more robust review process for pop-ups, meaning it should be a lot less stuff just flashing on the screen in the first 5 minutes. Cleaning up the presentation was apparently a big goal for the Edge of Fate, and Bungie has additional medium and long-term plans and features where we want to do even better, said Stevens. I think this is important
Hmm.
because Destiny has terrible introductions.
The,
It's like one of their
the
main
I
issues for
remember trying.
getting new players.
I remember trying to play Destiny like 3 times. The first time I rented it and the game and it was a completely different campaign when it originally launched. And then I tried playing it again when it like I think it was either on Series X and I just didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then I tried playing it again on PS5, and I'm like, I put more hours into it, but I'm just like, I'm not invested in any of these characters. The gunplay was the only thing I really liked about Destiny 2.
Yeah. They have good gunplay.
But yeah, the gunplay was really good.
Yeah.
But
Hope it
yeah.
works out.
But, but speaking of good things,
Oh, Nordic.
THQ Nordic
Yeah.
THQ Nordic had a showcase in 2025, very recently, and the showcase revealed a number of pretty cool titles and just highlighting things that have been revealed already. One of the most exciting reveals for me, of course, was SpongeBob SquarePants Tides. Oh, sorry, Titans of the Tide. And in the game, the story of the game is the Flying Dutchman and King Triton are going at it, and it causes all kinds of chaos in the Bikini Bottom, and you have to play as both SpongeBob and Patrick to save the day. And it's coming out on PlayStation 5, Series X, and Nintendo Switch 2. Um, and then another announcement was that they're making a Gothic remake, and taken from the Xbox Wire post. Starting today, gamers everywhere can return to the Valley of the Minds in Gothic remake demo. Dive into the prologue to experience the thrill of returning to the colony for the very first time without encountering any spoilers. And they noted that the demo will not be included in the final game. And if you want to experience, and THQ Nordic also announced they will be releasing the Gothic Classics. Sorry, they will be releasing the Gothic Classics 1, 2, and 3 on all platforms next year. The other announcement was just um, a, a new gameplay trailer for the Eternal Life of Goldman, which is a 2D puzzle style platformer. Not the puzzle, not puzzle platform. I think it's like a Metroidvania. I'll just read the description. This all new gameplay trailer reveals at least one life shattering by our protagonist Goldman. The vibrant yet dark platformer demands precision while encouraging exploration and sense of discovery through the game world. The
Hmm.
game is still in development. Another game that was revealed was Reanimal, the highly anticipated horror adventure from the creators of Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Showcase gameplay trailer features a look at new gameplay environments and characters, including new monsters and friends of the protagonist, the orphan siblings. It comes out on most platforms in the future. We also get there's also a new trailer for games like Tides of Tomorrow. Wreckfest 2 is arriving in 2026. Titan Quest 2 is releasing in 2026 as well. And they also ended the Nordic Direct with a teaser for Darksiders 4,
Yep.
which takes place right after Darksiders 1 narratively. And I love Darksiders 1. The first two games were awesome. So hopefully this is not a one of those Metroidvania, not Metroidvanias. Hopefully it's not one of those freaking Souls likes. Let the photo was the Souls like, and but
Yeah.
I'm sure you was excited about the SpongeBob reveal like I was.
I was not. None of these
Your
games
face
are
is
really
lying.
my cup of tea, but the SpongeBob one looked pretty interesting. I also,
Yeah, but go ahead.
I was say, I think the Tides of Tomorrow game was at the Sony Showcase or State of Play before.
I think so too. I don't really remember.
I'm, I think so. Yeah, this was. It's like a single player story told in multiplayer, I believe. I mean, not saying a story told in multiplayer. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, pretty decent show
Well, we
for
also
THQ.
yeah, and we also got
Darksiders
a
a
whole
pretty
bunch
big
of
franchise.
absolutely. I love Darksiders. The first one was one of the best classic Zelda games, traditional 3D Zelda games ever, and it melds like really good God of War, like old God of War combat. So I love that game.
All right.
But Nintendo, that wasn't the only
Yeah.
showcase that caught Lord Sonic's attention. There was two, count 'em, two Nintendo Directs. One was a Nintendo Direct partner showcase, and the other was an Indie World. Let's discuss the Nintendo Direct partner one. So we got the reveal of Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, and is the game is a new adventure in the Monster Hunter universe, and it launches on the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2026. It sports a more like refined cel shaded art style that you saw in the original and from the prior to Stories games with bigger character models and stuff, and it looks really good. It's a turn based RPG series based off of Monster Hunter, and it's really cool. And I'm happy to see that coming out next year on all platforms. Though obviously Nintendo Direct Switch 2 was the focus. We also got Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and it still has no release date yet. But they showed off more gameplay and story stuff, which is pretty cool. Um, there was also The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales, which is an HD 2D Zelda top-down Zelda Adventures of Mana type experience. And I played a demo, and I think it's pretty solid. It's like it's basically what the Octopath people would do if you made a Zelda game based
Yeah.
on that engine and stuff. And really cool. Like the art style is really great. It runs largely well. Um, the fairy companion is very useful. You can kind of use the right stick to center places, and you can walk to them. Um, it just if you love the top-down Zelda games, this is something that absolutely keep an eye on, and you can play the demo right now on your Switch too. But it's releasing on everything. And another HD 2D reveal was Octopath Traveler Zero, and this is coming out on December 4th, 2025, on all platforms. And it is basically um the game. They describe the game as a story of restoration and retribution over the Divine Rings, an epic saga that unfolds across the realm of Osteria. Basically, it's and what the game is essentially just you take the mobile Octopath game that they put out and you kind of remix it and remake it into a more traditional experience for consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Square Enix, there's some Kingdom Hearts games you can do that with. It's just giving you a friendly PSA. But but Octopath Traveler Zero, it's really cool to see that they're taking them one of their mobile games that likely a lot of Western players didn't even look at, and then making it a way to look appealing. That's
Mm-hmm.
really cool. But some of the rest of the announcements at the showcase at the Nintendo Direct
Well,
include
I just gotta say
Bandai
that
Namco.
chilling by the fire game is wild. Have you seen the images?
What did you say?
Chilling by fire.
What?
Chilling by fire.
Oh yeah, that's out now. That's a Switch 2
It's
exclusive, I
basically
think.
where
That's out
you
right.
use the webcams and see floating heads on your screen.
That's funny. Yeah, that
Uh,
was one of the more
I'm looking at
wild.
some of these images right now. It's wild. Uh,
Oh my goodness,
so there's
it is
someone made this
wild.
YouTube video. Cozy or cursed?
That's good. Oh my goodness, but the Switch 2 owners, there was a lot of announcements of ports and games
No
releasing
Xbox.
day and date on the console. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised we still haven't seen it. It basically confirms Xbox got development kits right when the console came out. Because why else aren't they talking about their Switch 2 ports? You would assume they'll be front and center here, but they're not.
Yeah. Seeing some sports games getting ported though. EA?
Yeah, we got Madden, which I think was revealed before we saw in action.
Oh.
They Chronos: The New Dawn is coming out on Switch
Oh
2.
yeah, I did see that.
Yakuza Yakuza Kiwami 2 is coming out on Switch 2. Borderlands 4 is
Football
coming
Club,
out on Switch 2. Yep. And then there was
Sparkling Zero,
other
Dragon Ball,
absolutely Persona 3 Reload is coming out in October on Switch 2.
Tactics.
Star Wars Outlaw. Yeah, and the game that really made me go, "Oh, let's go." Pac-Man World 2 Repack.
Really?
A
That's what made
remake
you
of
go? Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, because Pac-Man World 2 is a really good 3D platformer from the 2000s, and it getting a proper remake, and not just like, oh, we're just taking the original game and just making it prettier. You're fixing the camera. You giving Pac-Man the voice actor he had in World 3. Like it's really cool as someone who likes those games.
Hey, at least it isn't Sonic. No Sonic games,
Mm.
thankfully.
But we also had an Indie World showcase,
Yes.
and I'll just and the biggest reveals the biggest the biggest events. Yeah, sorry, the biggest games at the event was UFO 50, which is like a collection of like a ton of indie games, individual games in one package, made by a small development team, and it's out now. It's shadow dropped, and a demo for Mina the Hollower is out on Switch 1 and Switch 2 right now, and that got a
Ah.
proper release date for
Will you be playing Little
later.
Kitty?
Yeah, that got a nice update, but the it was so cute though. You can
Little
like
Kitty Big
customize the
City.
cat.
Picture
Yeah,
perfect.
it's yeah, perfect, beautiful.
Arcade type
I
game.
love. Yeah. Absolutely, I bought that on Switch. For Switch 1, it's a really cute game.
Yeah, those
I,
furry
I love
animals.
I love animals.
Yeah.
The animals are so cute, and like you can make the cat look like a cat, like
What the heck is a
any
sheep
type of cat you
raccoon?
want.
What is a sheep
What
raccoon?
happened?
There's a game called Sheep Raccoon.
Let me look at that.
Ultimate Sheep Raccoon slides into Switch Holiday 25.
All right, let me look at this.
I believe.
Ultimate Sheep Raccoon is a bike racing party game where you and your friends build a course together, add obstacles and dangerous traps, and take the lead with power ups and race to the finish. It launches on Switch, PC, and Switch 2.
Huh. Just don't know how you get a sheep and a raccoon together. But yeah, Nintendo had some good announcements this month.
And to kind of cap off the indie world, for me, the Hollower, it's the very first Nintendo Switch 2 game to run at 120 FPS
Wasn't
in portable mode.
Metroid at 120 FPS?
Yes, it is. It has a mode and I don't think that was I wasn't sure if that was the mode that was accessible or not at
It's
the
kind of
Nintendo
strange they
at when I
haven't
wanted.
dated it yet.
We will. I My guess is now that we have the partner direct and the indie world direct, a Nintendo leaker dude came out and was like, "This is part of a three-pronged approach from Nintendo. You have your third-party reveals, your indie reveals, and then your Nintendo reveals."
Yeah.
My guess is we'll probably get another Nintendo Direct sometime in August, either this week or next week. This is just me guessing. No, like, oh, RK knows. I know nothing.
Oh,
I'm just
isn't
guessing
there
at this
also a
point.
Kirby game coming this year?
Yeah, there's Kirby Air Riders. There's Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. There's Hyrule Warriors Age
Oh yeah,
of
that wheelchair
no Age.
basketball game is coming this month.
Oh yeah, that's great. It's a we got it looks so stupid, but it looks fun too.
Uh, it does look funny.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
How are you
But
enjoying that mouse?
I'm expecting a proper Nintendo Direct either this week or next week to kind of go over the release dates for Nintendo's games. But I guess we'll see. And the last Nintendo thing to discuss is for Nintendo at game for Nintendo at Gamescom, they will be having Hollow Knight Silk Song and Elden Ring Tarnished Edition and Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade playable on demo Switch 2s at the event. So I think with Silk Song it's going to be a shadow drop. They're just going to announce it and
I
it's
want
out
it to be
now.
delayed. It's on my fantasy draft
You're
for
evil.
counter picks.
So you want to selfishly delay, not because you okay.
I also want it to be delayed so people keep coping. The disappointment would be humorous.
You're evil. But let's move on.
But you gotta imagine the expectations are so high that I don't know how you deliver on that.
For me, I wish I got into Hollow Knight like everyone else did, but I got lost and I just like, oh, okay, I guess.
I'm just saying the hype has been so high it has been gotten higher and higher every year. That's some pressure right there.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But what isn't crazy is that From Software is in advanced development of an unannounced game coming next year. It is claims. Let me read this.
I forgot to
So, according
ask
to
you, how is that mouse on the Switch too?
the mouse mode,
Like, have you is it been
it
used in any
depends on
games yet? No.
not
So
particularly.
I guess Virtuos will be the first game you can use it.
Yeah, it'll be the first game that really kind of leverage that functionality a lot. But other games, the most exciting use for it was ironically enough, they added Mario Paint to for the Super Nintendo Online,
Dude, power washing has
and
to
you
come
can
to
use
Switch.
yeah, obviously, but for Mario Paint, you can use the Joy-Con mouse to draw and
Ah.
create things.
You know that
And
mouse
I'm like,
gimmick
okay, so
reminds me of the touchpad gimmick during early PS4. Remember how like Infamous Second Son used the touchpad?
and I remember that's how they brought Tearaway over to the
Oh yeah,
PS4 too.
because I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you like painting in Infamous, if I remember, spray painting.
Oh, I remember you had to trace on the
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of what the mouse reminds me. But yeah,
It's
and
honestly it depends on the game that I think it could be useful for. Like if you're playing like a shooter and you have a really good grip setup for your Joy Cons, the mouse mode's gonna be pretty cool. But the problem with the mouse mode is those Joy Cons are too small. You need a grip to use the mouse mode comfortably because I did not. They work really well, but I did not. I remember when I put at the Nintendo experience. When I played Metroid Prime 4, they were insistent use the mouse mode.
yeah.
I'm good. Aim.
How was the
And I was
how was the tech demo or the game that was kind of like Astro, like the
Actually, I didn't buy that,
oh you
and
didn't
I
buy
didn't
the
play
tech
that at
demo?
the event.
Oh.
No, but one of the reviews that Lords of Gaming did. You can check out our review of the $10 tech demo right there.
Guessing it was
But
not
let's
worth
go
the
back
ten
to
dollars if you didn't get it.
I'm not paying 10. If I'm paying, no, I'll rather buy fast. Um, the racing game that the fast team made instead. Anyway, let's go back on topic. So according to a report, Plum Software has an upcoming game, and it's reportedly codenamed FMC, and it is an additional project alongside Elden Ring Night Rain updates as well as Nintendo Switch 2 Dustbloods. And MP1 first states that considering the nature of the source these details come from, the project is likely in advanced development and could be released next year. It is stated that the project is in development for multiple platforms, which rules out that it's not Dustbloods, despite a codename not currently being known. So, my guess is, they speculate that the report speculates that previous Dark Souls and Omicron started with the letter F for their prototype names,
Hmm.
code names. So while it's not super significant at face value, developers have been known to follow trends when it comes to their code names. So it is considering we got an Armored Core title a few years, not too long ago. I'm thinking this is another Armored Core game
Ah,
if this is coming out next year, but I suppose we'll see.
yeah. Oh, I don't think it's Sekiro 2. Sekiro 2. I don't think so.
No, no, I don't think so.
Which wasn't. I think they own it, right? Because my Activision didn't own the rights to that, I believe.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say Microsoft almost owned that, but yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I could see a Sekiro 2 happening and
I mean,
Microsoft
that's a
being like, okay,
pretty
it's
beloved game, like a Bloodborne level beloved. A lot of people say Sekiro is their best one.
well, for Souls fans, you have fun.
Yeah,
Mm, Not my cup of tea.
me neither. I'm not a Souls boy. But let's talk about
No.
Ubisoft again.
Oh,
Speaking of
yes.
new developments, a new first-person Ghost Recon game is in development and possibly coming out next year. The news comes from
Nice.
a report from Steven Totillo's GameFile. Subscription is highly encouraged, where Yves Guillemot confirmed in the shareholder meeting that a new game is in development. He discussed the success of Rainbow Six as an example of the company's expertise in live service games. That's such a comical statement because they have so many live service bombs.
That's true.
I remember X Defiant last year,
Yeah.
and
That's fine, man.
and that canceled BR like from 2 years ago. Not canceled, it came out, it got shut down. You've said our objective
That's,
is to make strong progress in the growing market, generally speaking, by continuing to enhance our current expertise that we offer, such as Division and Ghost Recon. For those out of the
mm,
loop, Insider Gaming has already reported that the next Ghost Recon, no codenamed OVR, is the next mainline title in the franchise. It is set during the fictional Nemean War, played in first person, heavy inspiration from Call of Duty and Modern Warfare series, and they have Insider Gaming has seen gameplay of it, but that they cannot show it. But yeah, this is somewhat akin to Ready or Not. Any thoughts?
mm.
Ghost Recon has been a dormant
Not,
franchise for a while.
not particularly, but it's interesting that Ghost Recon is returning back to first person
Yeah,
when, like, they transition to the third person.
yeah.
But
First person's having to come
speaking of
back.
Ubisoft, they also made a comment about monetization where they say it makes the player experience more fun.
Oh,
Any thoughts on that?
yeah. I don't know. Oh, let me read this full quote.
Okay, oh boy,
The
let's go.
adoption of monetization and engagement policies that respect the player experience and are sustainable in the long term at Ubisoft. The golden rule when developing premium games is to allow players to enjoy the game in full without having to spend more. Our monetization offer within premium games makes the player experience more fun by allowing them to personalize their
Mm,
avatars. Wow,
mm.
what a load of horse.
Yeah, yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be surprised when people kind of like, well, I guess I'm not gonna buy your skins and stuff for Rainbow Six Siege.
When EA doesn't even do single player monetization, you know what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Let's talk about our good friend Daddy Netflix. Netflix is
Yes.
doubling down on gaming investment. Netflix gaming segment has been growing slowly but steadily over the years. We have seen the giant invest in AI technology to build games. It has nearly 80 games in development as of last year. The company announced that WWE 2K will be part of Netflix Games Fall 25. In comparison to other content investments, its gaming investment is quite small in comparison. But Peter adds that they will ramp up the investment from Netflix Gaming as it is quite small compared to their overall content investment. Any thoughts, good sir?
Hmm.
Do you want those AI
I
games?
guess no, no. If it's AI, no, I'm good. You keep it. I'm good.
There will be a Squid Game Unleashed game apparently. But yeah. If you remember the
Okay,
Coldplay Kiss Cam scandal,
I don't even know what this is, so you have to
so
explain this to me.
basically a CEO got exposed at a concert. You know what a Kiss Cam is?
I know what that is, but
Yeah, basically it was
what
a
did they do?
concert cheating with with someone, and they were caught live on stage at the concert with a Kiss Cam.
Oh my god, that is
I think the
awful.
CEO had to resign or something by now. So this has
Mess
been
around and
turned
find
into a
out.
video game. The
That's
Coldplay Kiss
hysterical.
Cam scandal has already been turned into a video game.
So funny.
During the recent Coldplay concert, a couple was highlighted on the big screen in the arena. Their responses wasn't what you expect as the pair released their embrace and dove out of sight, clutching their faces in shock and embarrassment. Coldplay Chris's Martin suggested the pair were either shy or having an affair. Ironically, it was the latter. It turns out the couple worked at Astrometer, a billion-dollar tech company, and they were at the Coldplay concert as secret lovers. It gets more hilarious when you learn that it was a CEO embracing the head of HR.
Ridiculous.
But yes, it has been turned into a game now. On
That is
this
hysterical.
tweet, someone said, I vibe coded a little game called Coldplay Canoodlers. You're the camera operator and you have to find the CEO and HR lady canoodling. 10 points every time you find them.
Oh, that's so good.
Uh, it's not something you can download on Steam, but Coldplay Canoodlers isn't that hard to access. It's a great example of human ingenuity in the wake of someone else embarrassing themselves. Yeah, let's go back to Ubisoft again. Ubisoft CEO thinks Star Wars Outlaws failed because of the brand was less popular. Thoughts?
Yet you're porting it to Nintendo Switch too. What is the plan here?
I mean, he does have a point.
They
That
trying to get
Star Wars
so
Acolyte came at the exact time the game released.
they're probably like, hey, we want money back.
Yeah,
So hopefully they get sales maybe.
but yeah, like
But if,
Star
okay,
Wars
like
has a big low when the game released, so that I'm sure it had an effect. Not the whole effect, but a little effect.
apparently they canceled a sequel to Outlaws
Yeah,
and very early in development too.
it was just being
So
pitched.
they're like, hey, we're done with this. This did not go well, but we're done.
Yeah, such a safe bet failed so badly. I don't know how.
No, I don't know, man.
Let's talk about more out of touch Ubisoft.
Wow.
Ubisoft out of touch shareholders think Valorant will steal sales.
Ghost Recon or Rainbow Six?
During the question and answer segment of the recent shareholder meeting, investors stood up and unleashed in a mighty fury upon Yves Guillemot and Frederick Duguet. I'm unhappy with catastrophic share price. Negative 40% over 10 years. I'm very disappointed with everything we've seen of late. I've got real concerns. I don't recognize Ubisoft I once knew in the past. How is it that the head of HR saw nothing? We operate in these buildings, so how is it they didn't stop it? How is it that nothing has been seen and nothing was done? How can we tackle increasing prices? The fact that we have gamers are becoming more demanding. He was talking about the recent allegations and internal concerns that came to light concerning abuse and volatile working conditions. The question answered. The company was not found liable with any of the claims made against the company for misconduct. We're extremely sorry for what occurred and we put in place The second, we heard additional systems, additional mechanisms to ensure that information could be reported more effectively. We are keeping a very close eye. Placated, the shareholder moved on to the next topic, perhaps revealing a chink in his armor when it came to the depth of his knowledge of games. About competition, there's a game a lot of people have been talking about Valorant. A lot of people have said good things about it, and we'd just like to know what do you think about. Is there anything good that Ubisoft can learn from that? Really, what is your opinion of the game? It seems like all gamers love it. If they love it, that means it's going to be a drop in sales for you, Off. So what's your take?
Mm.
Firstly, Valorant has been around for 5 years, so it seems bizarre that it's now being discussed by the shareholder as what sounds like a new entering the market. Second, it might seem odd that a free-to-play first-person shooter from Riot Games could threaten the sales of a company more focused on single-player or co-op titles with premium price tags. Perhaps it might threaten Rainbow Six Siege, or as it is closely aligned with that. But Siege has been around for more than a decade and recently went kinda free to play with the launch of Siege X. In any case, the recent state of Siege is what's threatening Siege, not Valorant's existence. Frederick Duguet, chief financial officer, went head-on to lend his 2 cents. What we're doing is looking at all different operators in the market in multiplayer games. For first-person shooters, if you look at Rainbow Six and other games of the same ilk, it's exactly what we're trying to do. Valorant is a top 5 game. Rainbow Six is a top 15 game. What we want to do is have that in the top 10, the top 5 eventually. Something we can learn from Valorant is that we've enhanced the overall offering of our game. He explained that boosting the content pipeline for Rainbow Six Siege in their first free-to-play pivot ensures the game's survival in the competitive world. Any thoughts here?
It sounds like they're looking at Valorant and other free to play shooters on the market, and are being are very concerned about the future of their own games. And it's always good to point out, like, yeah, we have competition, and we need to be ready for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but
That's just a
it's just,
weird story.
but like the fact that you're singling out Valorant is kind of weird.
Yeah, it was just
A
an
better
investor who
comparison,
didn't know much about games, I believe.
yeah, a better comparison would be like Apex Legends or like
Actually,
Call of
no.
Duty
Valorant
or
is
something.
way more similar to Rainbow Six than Call of Duty and Apex.
Hmm.
They're more
Well,
tactical
I haven't really
shooters.
played that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why they did that comparison then. Okay.
I did that comparison because I think Valorant was in the top 5 of some chart. That's
Well,
how the
it's
investor saw it.
competition.
Yeah.
Well, Ubisoft just needs to make sure that they make a good game because I mean, look at Assassin's Creed Shadows. They made a good game and it surpassed 5 million players.
But keyword players, doesn't really seem to be a rise in success as the previous title. It did good. It did good.
And
It sold a couple million copies, I'm sure. And I'm sure it'll sell 5 million copies by the end of the year, but isn't as the breakout
of
hit.
course, but I think the reason why is like this is part of the whole subscription thing. When you're putting your game on a subscription service and you getting it day
Yeah,
one
but
with that
that's
service,
exclusive to PC, I believe.
I think it's also on
Oh,
Xbox
is it?
too, isn't it?
Okay, never mind.
I think you can do it with. I think you can do it with Xbox and
You can do it on
PlayStation. I
PlayStation.
think.
No PlayStation.
Okay, well, it's Xbox and PC. I know Xbox and PC has that for
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah. But
So,
yeah,
but I don't. But I feel like for on
but I
PC and
think people would
Xbox,
still rather to do Steam than Ubisoft.
yeah. But and they don't probably don't want to deal with the Ubisoft launcher either. But
Yeah, but
hmm.
yeah. Let's talk about the Chinese room. It has separated from Sony Digital after a management buyout. Want to take this?
Mm-hmm. All right, let me open this up. Yeah, the Chinese room has separated from Sumo Digital after management buyout. At Chinese Room, a UK-based studio behind award-winning Still Wakes a Deep, has announced a split from Sumo Digital. This news comes amidst concerns that the studio would be bought out by an undisclosed firm or agency. Those worries have been placated as the Chinese Room reveals a management buyout deal that makes the studio independent. The creative itch. In a statement to IGN, as reported by Insider Gaming, Ed Daly spoke positively about the independent deal that has split the Chinese Room from Sumo Digital. This management buyout allows us to scratch the creative itch of continuing to work on new original intellectual IP while or but also to partner with other studios on other projects when they fit in our vision. This is what we are doing, and we want to carry on doing that. So we're happy to carry on in this vein. Chinese Room last major game was Still Wakes It Deep, a unique horror game set on a Scottish oil rig. Last month, the team released a sizable expansion for the game, which came mere months after the game and its cast won big at the BAFTA Game Awards. Um, and the next up for the developer is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, releasing later this year. It's been in development for a while, and it's the hurdle to overcome before further IPs can be produced at the studio. And it is a action RPG based on the tactical turn-based RPG of the same name. Is a follow-up release to the original way back in 2024. And the Chinese room picked the project up in 2021 after the game was passed from pillar to post. So basically, they got their independence, they got their freedom, and they don't have to really worry about any unforeseen buyouts and closures and other stuff. And but for them, I hope they get plenty of success.
Yeah, glad to hear that. Let's talk. I guess we want to cover the next one too. You like Shadow of
Sure.
Colossus, right?
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. Stellar Cheeks, I mean Stellar Blade Socials, taken over by cryptocurrency scammers. And oh boy, on July 12th, the Stellar team, social team, we posted some photo shots from the 2024 post-apocalyptic slasher that's still turning heads today. Hmm. Then the last couple of days, images and posts started appearing on the channel, promoting the largest airdrop in gaming. Talk about a monumental 10 million crypto campaign centered around Stellar Blade. And so the classic crypto takeover has replaced the channel's bio with information and linking to this deceptive site that the game's director has called out repeatedly, announcing fraudulent cryptocurrency drops. And yeah, basically the website was their social media account was taken over by crypto scammers, and yeah, it's
Sucks.
hopefully everything is resolved. It's just it's messed up, man. Like it's not fair to the developers who just want to just highlight their game and have to worry about cryptocurrency ruining everything for them.
Yeah. But speaking of Shadow of the Colossus, director says we don't need new game mechanics every time. Let me get the full quote here. Ueda thinks games don't need new gameplay mechanics every single time. In a translated interview with Den Flamenco Gamer, Fumito Ueda was interviewed along with Kieta Takashi, director of the classic Kitamari games. Takashi is directing to a teen narrative-driven puzzler. The developer had explained to Ueda about To a Teenager. No, I don't want to have that many special mechanics. Ueda thought it was good at the time, but clarified during the interview. I don't really remember why I said yes at the time, but I think it was probably because I thought the age of mechanics was no longer a case.
Hmm.
With many top AAA titles essentially regurgitating the content offering incremental improvements on previous systems, Yue thinks, I don't think we're in an era where we have to offer new devices and new game mechanics every time. It might be my interpretation, but plenty of games are succeeding without the need of having a wide flow of painless environmental enemies. You need to scale many gigantic colossi and defeat them, or maybe even simulate real-life music with plastic instruments. Takashi claimed, there's something that Mr. Yuta has been insisting on for a long time. I've been saying this since Journey. It's not the age of mechanics anymore. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, so my thoughts on it is just like you have a director who knows like what's like taking like a core mechanic or a core set of mechanics and getting the most out of them. And you don't have to kind of shake the wheel every single time you bring out a new game or a new IP or something. if it has a good core base, you don't have to go crazy with like everything.
Yeah,
So him kind of basically the visionary of one of the greatest games ever made, saying you don't need new mechanics every time you put out a new title. Just kind of goes to show that as long as it's a quality experience that is polished, well executed, well done, you don't have to have everything in the kitchen sink.
yeah, I agree with that. Let's talk about supermassive games. More layoffs and delayed 80 Directive 8020 2026. Thoughts?
Man, it's let's open up the article so we can kind of break this down a bit. This is sad to see. More layoffs in this industry. Supermassive Games has released a statement regarding a new round of layoffs, which affect 37 of their colleagues and delay the release of Directive 8020.
Yeah,
Excuse me. Supermassive Games' latest statement on X/Twitter addresses the layoffs, stating that they made the difficult decision to begin a redundancy process. In this new round of layoffs, the Little Nightmares Free developer expects to lose up to 36 of their employees, and it's just sad that it's these are talented people that make genuinely good games, and them losing talent is a shame. Hopefully, they get back. The people who get laid off get back on their feet, and the games that they're working on come out
yep,
on time.
yep. Hopes that everything works out. Kind of sad because that was a horror game set in October, so it's like perfect for them. Let's talk
It would
about.
have been, but at least they still have Little Nightmares 3 coming out, and
Oh yeah,
that has not been affected by the layoffs, according to them.
let's talk about Assassin's. We just talked about this. Shadows has released
Yep.
has surpassed 5 million players, and their DLC will
Mm-hmm.
be released September. Which, if you pre-order the game, you get
Nice.
for free. So yeah,
And I'm guessing I'm gonna guess we're gonna hear about the Switch 2 version sooner than later then, because
uh,
that was leaked for Switch 2.
oh, didn't know that.
So
Let's talk about a Switch version for something else. Borderlands 4.
absolutely,
The Switch
yeah.
will
Borderlands
run
4,
mostly 30 FPS with some dips.
yeah. Borderlands 4 is releasing on October 3rd on the Switch 2, and Randy Pitchford comments that it's going to be running at 30 frames per second, around 30 frames, and it's interesting that there's a couple of things. First of all, Borderlands 4 is going to be like every third party game is using key cards. So people who want a physical version, you're not getting a real one.
Yeah,
Secondly, the performance is probably it's when they say 30 around 30 frames, I imagine it's going to run like that on Series S too, because the Series S is going to be like the baseline and maybe some boosts, maybe some drawbacks to get games running on Switch 2. The Switch 2 is a very capable console. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be like perfect.
yeah.
If it has major performance drops, there's no that it deserves criticism for sure. But if it hits its 30 FPS target like 90% of the time,
It's
that's not
also
really a big deal.
Borderlands is pretty. I'm sure it has some next gen feel to it.
Absolutely. To
Let's.
justify like the frame rate cap and stuff.
Yep. Sony and Bandai Namco strategic partnership in 68 billion yen deal. And that's
Oh man,
interesting.
absolutely. And
Sony's getting that
this
foothold
is
in
probably
anime.
not even just that. I think this is directly linked to their partnership and getting some of their third party games, some of their like smaller titles out on other platforms.
I
Because
mean, I'm
Bandai Namco has
sure
been
that's a
responsible for
benefit, but I
that.
think the what was the other Japanese corporation who owns From Software?
Okay, yeah, they did get some stock in From Software
Not From
too.
Software, the company, like the corporation was from Okinawa. That's what it was.
Kodakawa?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got a big percentage of that, and I'm sure that was mostly anime driven. I think the gaming was like a
yeah, for
benefit.
sure.
So yeah, they are absolutely hold. They want that anime monopoly, and the games here are helping as well.
Hmm.
Since we're yeah, and PlayStation also revealed their fight stick, but now it's called Flex Strike officially. We talked about it
Ooh,
previously, but
that's exciting.
pretty cool. And then a former
Oh,
GTA think GTA 6 players might prefer 30 frames over 60 frames because of the cinematic nature of the Rockstar games.
it, it depends. Like if you're playing GTA Online,
I mean,
a
sure, online
performance
you would
mode,
want 60.
yeah, online the GTA Online a 60 mode would be preferable. But for the single player, if you're not really, if you don't need like the super responsiveness for like the shooting and stuff and the driving, 30 frames, a lot of 30 frames is not the end of the world.
Yeah,
But
their
if
games are
you have the
incredibly
option,
cinematic. Probably the most cinematic games ever.
hmm.
Let's talk about Tencent allegedly copying the Horizon series. And then Tencent made changes post lawsuit announcement.
Oh, absolutely. Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure
So
you've
good
seen the
job on
images,
Tencent.
the
Uh,
comparisons,
yeah, they went too close to the horizon,
which is
so to speak.
what's funny is they pitched to Sony as a Horizon spinoff first, and they said, "Oh well, whatever, we'll make our own game." So looking more like
It's
they did
crazy.
copy. Yeah, and then we discussed this briefly before, but Mafia Old Country isn't $50 because it's not a real Mafia game. It's a 10-hour game, and it is just as long as the first one. So
Hmm.
yeah, the devs say it isn't short because it's $50 because they wanted the story to be like that.
Yeah, they
Then
want to make.
yeah, they told a quality 10-hour story. I cannot deny that. Which is funny because Uncharted 2 was full priced and it was 10 hours.
Back then it was 50. It was 60, I think,
Yeah,
back then,
60.
right? I
Warner
know buying these for
Games,
$20.
Warner Games Montreal is making another live service game according to job listings.
Ridiculous, man. Like, obviously, it's a job description, so it may not be completely accurate, but like,
Yeah, I don't know.
you would
I'm
assume
assuming they're pitching a
WB
live
would,
service game that hasn't been greenlit.
yeah.
But
Like, you
yeah,
would assume after the failure of Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad, you wouldn't do that.
I'm assuming Rockstar is getting
Good
single
luck.
player though.
Yeah, but Gotham Knights clearly was built around multiplayer that got gutted last minute.
Yeah, that is true. What's sad is they pitched a Flash game and then a Constantine game and then a Game of Thrones game, and those are all rejected.
Oh, what was this? They never got greenlit. It really makes you wonder, like, what they surely they know how to make a decent video game. I mean,
I mean, look at Wonder
look at
Woman though.
Origins.
Wonder Woman was kind of in dev hell for a while.
Hmm.
And then Witcher 4 dev doesn't know how to top Witcher 3.
A better combat system? Question mark.
Yeah, but there's more to it than just
I mean, well, the only complaint I really heard about Witcher 3 was the combat system wasn't particularly amazing.
Yeah, but I
Is
think he
that
means from
accurate
a
or not?
more RPG perspective, the questing, the world.
Oh,
How do they
well, in
top what
that
they already
case,
achieved? Is that some people
hmm.
really love The Witcher, and hopefully those people will love The Witcher 4. How we make games, how we
Well,
make quests, that, what The Witcher means to us is the same one. But yeah, I hope they work it out. I have faith in CD. They haven't really missed yet. I mean, they had
no, they
performance
haven't.
issues, but like they still just wrote a really good game with Cyberpunk. And
I think the bigger question is, will Witcher 4 be a hot mess at launch or not? Hopefully it's not.
I hope it. I don't think so. You would
But
imagine they learned. But
After Cyberpunk, they can't do that again.
except they did the tech demo thing again, where they show that part of the game that's not real. But
I
at least
remember
they
that.
told you, like in bold letters, this is not Witcher 4.
But they shouldn't have shown it off then. They should have just
I don't think there's nothing wrong with
whatever.
showing off vertical slices. You just got to be upfront.
Well, at least they were very clear about what it was, so people didn't get things mixed up.
Speaking of getting things mixed up, will you play this on easy mode? Lies of P is on PlayStation Plus.
Well, what Sonic is tired. But maybe
Oh, maybe.
a hard maybe.
A hard maybe. Look, we might be breaking the RK shell.
I don't like Souls, but the
Neither.
fact they even bothered to be like, listen, we know Souls games are bullshit for some people, mind my language. So we're meeting you halfway. That deserves some respect.
Yeah. Let's talk about Battlefield 6 will remain $70, not 80. EA isn't raising price at this moment. Any
That's
thoughts?
good. It goes to show that when EA has restraint and Microsoft doesn't, that says a lot. I think Borderlands 4 backing off the $80 price tag is the big reason why a lot of games are just not going ahead with 80 this holiday
Yep.
because they know that they can't get away with it. People are just going to be complaining. That's going to be the only thing they talk about. But since Battlefield isn't, which we'll call it, 80, people are talking about how positive the beta has been.
Yeah. Speaking of, the beta has been going on this weekend and it will return next weekend for those playing out there. And then the PlayStation 6 console, a new PS6 Canis specs leak, it's claimed.
Hmm.
Handheld is called the Canis. Moore's Law Dead extendedly covers huge deep dives into hardware. In the PS5 6 early leak, brutal price below PS5 video, the channel discusses how Sony is looking to make the PS6 more powerful than the Pro, but potentially bringing the price point down, not up. Anyone remember
I don't.
PlayStation? Huh? What'd you say?
I'm sorry if I cut you off, but I don't believe they'll keep the price below 700. If tech is just price of tech is just going up and up. At most, I think what's probably going to happen is that whatever price they kind of targeting, expect an extra 100 or 150. Do you believe that? Or
I think it'll probably be 700. Maybe
yeah,
600
that
if they
makes
really
sense.
try.
600 for no disk drive and maybe less storage, and 700 with a disk drive.
Yeah. The host explains the spec information from official documents. He believes they'll be targeting a mid 27, fall 27, or early 28.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's some technical elements I don't think we have either expertise to explain. But yeah, it seems like it's a pretty powerful console and might go for that 4K 60 finally. The real 4K 60. With some even talking
Until they
about
don't
20
want to do it anymore.
FPS.
Until they can't do it anymore.
I don't know about that. This would be more powerful, I believe.
Yeah, but eventually you hit a ceiling at a certain point, so
I don't know. We're
we'll
still
see what
getting
happens.
60 FPS games.
Oh, for sure. They just won't hit the target.
Anyway, Bioshock suffers more development hell after failing executive review, which it failed the review on the narrative, shockingly. And the remake has also been kind of canned. It's kind of sad how this franchise just can't go anywhere without Ken. What are your thoughts, sir?
I am not. I'm not particularly surprised, especially since Judas might as well just be Bioshock 4 and everything but name.
What's funny is Judas has
So
been developing for
why?
10 years as well.
Apparently, they didn't stop. They didn't cancel it for a reason. So,
Yeah, that's 'cause Ken. That's why it doesn't cancel. He gets all the respect in the building.
oh, for sure.
But yeah, I hope at least I hope maybe that remake gets some way forward, some way.
Hopefully,
Yeah. But apparently one of the canceled iterations, because the game has been rebooted like 10 times, is a live service Bioshock.
yeah, that's probably a big reason why that's been
That was
such
like one of the
development
previous
hell.
iterations. I think that this one wasn't live service.
Uh,
It has gone like through
okay,
20 iterations of reboots. Raven Software Unified ratified first contract for Microsoft, making basically maybe the first gaming union.
that's good to hear, man.
Yeah, Microsoft did something good.
They have the capacity for that sometimes.
They did. Exclusive. Activision leadership isn't worried about Battlefield 6 because Call of Duty is too big to fail. What are your thoughts there, good sir?
Mm. I think they're just being a little cocky about it
Yeah, because
because
the
Battlefield.
Steam number I think have surpassed Call of Duty.
I mean, I look at it this way: if Microsoft didn't budge the price point, Call of Duty would have been 80 this holiday.
Yep.
And you have Battlefield at 70 and Call of Duty at 80. I mean, I think Battlefield's going to easily win just on the price point alone.
Yeah. Especially
So
this Call of Duty doesn't really seem to have any hype.
we'll see what happens, but I wouldn't dismiss Battlefield.
Yeah.
It's a big series.
Also on Battlefield, as Appella says, it's a spiritual successor to Battlefield 3 and 4, which are the beloved ones.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's that. And then
Yeah, not a big Battlefield guy, so I don't really have any comments on that. But I'm glad that those are the best ones for a lot of people.
yeah, I've been playing the
So I'm glad to
Battlefield
hear.
beta. It's pretty fun. The destruction is pretty fun too.
How does it run on PlayStation 5?
Pretty well.
Nice.
Also, Call of Duty is the easiest shooter to get good at, says former Counter-Strike pro. Which I think is true because
I can agree with that. I remember like really getting into it on the Wii, with Modern Warfare, and having a lot of fun with it.
yeah. Plus with Battlefield, there's so much more going on, like vehicles, tanks, and stuff, and jets, and just getting shot all from all sides. Call of Duty is more 6v6, smaller maps, more straightforward, and I think they still have the best gunplay.
For sure. So
Interesting.
I can cover this one.
Oh, I know you want to.
Oh yeah, so I think it's one of the coolest things they done. Helldiver 2 CEO reveals PlayStation's role in bringing the game to Xbox platforms. Oh, see, I'm trying to read. Okay, it's good. Helldivers 2 CEO Shams, I'm not even trying to pronounce the name. Helldivers 2 CEO has revealed that although Arrowhead game support decisions, Sony's role was crucial in bringing the game to Xbox. On August 16th, August 26th, Xbox players will finally be able to join the Helldivers battlefield in a historic day for the entire video game industry. Arrowhead has known how to handle the post-launch development of Helldivers 2 pretty well, with the game evolving at the speed of light. Thanks to Helldivers 2's unique live service approach, Arrowhead has managed to evolve the game a lot over the last year and a half. And in specific regards to PlayStation's involvement in bringing the game to Xbox, in exchange between Helldivers CEO and players on the game's official Discord channel, he revealed that Sony was the one players should be thanking. It was all PlayStation, he wrote, even though he acknowledges Arrowhead's role in bringing the game to Xbox Series X or S. I'm getting tired of him switching things up. I apologize. He made it clear this was Sony's fault, adding, "I think it's one of the coolest things they've done. They're killing it," he commented. And It will also it's also very fitting because Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox on the same day Gears of War Reloaded is coming to PlayStation. So what that tells me is that this is probably kind of like a handshake between PlayStation and Xbox, where they're like, we're gonna butt heads, but we but you know what, we're good. We're gonna play nice about this. We're gonna play nice on some titles, and I think this. I don't think this opens a floodgate for every PlayStation game to come to Xbox, but I am not stupid to assume that that PlayStation games won't come to Xbox. I think we're gonna get the live service titles launching day and date on PlayStation and Xbox, and I think games that like really set PlayStation back money wise for licensing or development, like Spider Man or whatever, those will eventually come to Xbox just to easily get their money back for it. But for your tentpoles like your God of Wars and your Ghosts of Yōteis and etc., I think those are gonna just be PlayStation and PC exclusive.
Yep, I agree with that assessment. Let's talk about some other live service studio within Sony. Bungie integration
Mm-hmm.
into Sony PlayStation Studios is proceeding. Their independence is waning. About the
Mm.
governance of Bungie, at the time of acquisition, we were offered a very independent environment, so that was one way of thinking, Sal said via interpreter. And so, however, thereafter, we have gone through a structural reform as we announced last year, so the independence is getting lighter, and Bungie shifting to a role which is becoming more part of PlayStation Studios.
At this point, I'm not surprised, especially after all the stuff that's been going on with Bungie. The main thing is hopefully that PlayStation that the developers who are there continue having jobs, and the PlayStation's guidance, they stop making mistakes. Excuse me.
Yeah, and more live service word from Sony. They admit their shift isn't going smoothly.
Going smoothly.
Yeah,
Going
isn't going.
smoothly. Mm, mm.
Yeah, shock.
Interesting choice of words is what I'll just say.
Yeah, shocker. It's not smooth. What I alluded to earlier,
Jesus.
Battlefield 6 almost has beaten almost every Call of Duty game ever made on Twitch. The hype is there.
Damn.
And I don't know if you saw the review event, but like they invited a lot of Call of Duty content creators.
Trying to get all the people
They
like,
were
hey,
saying
look at
all the
our
right
thing.
things. So,
And speaking of Battlefield, that beta is the biggest opening beta ever and is celebrated as its success continues, with the beta hitting over 500,000 concurrent players on Steam. And wow, I never seen like in this one of the servers I'm on, I saw someone showing them the lobby and they were just waiting to get in. That's crazy.
yeah. Speaking,
If EA does it well, they got a big win on their hands.
I don't know if you saw, but PlayStation has an exclusive Battlefield skin.
Hmm. They also have
That Call of
like
Duty deal might
the
be coming back with someone else.
hey, I mean, I look at it this way: Call of Duty isn't on the table anymore, right? Because Xbox has it.
Yeah,
Why not? Go with someone else.
especially with someone coming on the
Go.
high this year.
Look at it this way, man. Like, if we're gonna talk about it in if we're gonna go talk in Duke terms, the other girl's hanging out with a new guy. Go talk to the one that's available.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Oh my god, my tired brain's not working right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But PlayStation 5 reveals growth as 80 million PS5s are sold. Imagine the numbers with GTA next year.
That's crazy. Like PlayStation is doing really well with their consoles,
Yeah,
and you look at everyone else, and like everyone's having their own successes.
yeah. Starfield PS5 released for 2026 alongside expansion 2,
Mm.
which this expansion has also hinted about maybe redeveloping how travel works in the game, making it more streamlined because it was a big complaint.
I think like it's. I think the Starfield the PS5 release is gonna be like the big like this is it moment
Yeah,
where we're gonna be talking about Bethesda gives the game one big final shot in Neon. And like they're like, look, if and it's like they're probably figuring, hey, we might as well give the PlayStation 5 version, which we'll call up to the best possible spot success. Release it alongside the next expansion that surely is going to take a lot of lessons from the prior one, and it's gonna be the best console version because it'll be on the Pro. So
yeah. Hoping it'd be funny if that game becomes more popular on PS5.
that'll be hysterical. That'll be hysterical. Yeah, everyone who said, "Oh, the game is trash," then on PlayStation 5 the next spring, "Oh, this game is peak fiction," and then you have like Cog and Maddie just going, "Huh? What was we saying the entire time?"
Let's talk about Battlefield 6 anti-cheat engine has blocked 330,000 cheating attempts, but people have already found a way to cheat.
Wow,
Anyways,
that's crazy.
it's a beta, and still, that's crazy.
Mm.
Speaking of someone big, Rod Ferguson leaves Blizzard.
He helped a lot with getting Blizzard back on track. So
Yeah,
him leaving is a pretty
yeah, he will be missed. Microsoft can't stop losing high key talent.
look. God bless him. Todd's still in the building.
Yeah, that's true. For now, Hideo Kojima is working on Fizzing all by himself as it's still in the concept phase.
You said pissant
Fizzant,
or fizzant,
Fizzant,
phasant, fizzant,
Fizzant.
fizzant.
But yeah, that makes sense. It's early production. The team is focused on OD. I'm sure the multi-platform Microsoft game.
Oh, of course. I'm guessing pissant is gonna probably be what you will call it. It's probably in like conceptual stages right now. And then when OD is close to completion, pissant will come out. Not come out. It'll be enter full development.
Well, you're nasty. Grand Theft Auto series has sold 455 million units.
Not surprised.
Yeah, possibly the most successful franchise ever in gaming.
Hmm.
Doom: The Dark Age adds a free update with a new gameplay mode for those interested. Oh, I know you're gonna love this one. Take-Two
Oh
CEO
boy,
dodges question on CEO costing $80 or more. Says it will have a fair price.
a fair price.
I think it's gonna be
Hmm.
80.
I'm guessing they'll probably sell maybe the base experience will be 70,
I think the base will
and
be
they'll have
80.
like and they'll sell GTA Online separately.
I don't know. I don't think that's happening. I think it's sold as a complete package at $80. And then, but I think it will be worth the value. Metal Gear
We'll
Solid
see.
will Snake Eater's Fox Hunt mode won't be available at launch. That's the multiplayer mode, right?
That's a multiplayer mode. I remember that was something that was in the original. I don't know if it's the exact same mode. It was in the PS2 Xbox Subsistence version of the game, but it did have a multiplayer mode when it wanted to do one of the re-releases
Yeah,
back in the day. Um, I'm guessing. No, I'm not guessing. That is the mode that they're bringing back, and I'm not surprised. They're probably just waiting for it. Like they'll probably drop that next year, early next year, to kind of give the game more life and attention.
yeah.
And of course, being online multiplayer, they could add microtransactions and skins and all that other stuff.
Ape
Because
Escape
as
exclusive.
Ubisoft said, yeah, you know what Ubisoft says, microtransactions are more fun. Sure.
Kojima says something true. Even the visuals and systems are pretty much the same. He says too many games are too similar these days. Like those 20 Souls clones that look all the same.
Hmm. That is something I will agree with. There's a lot of games that just visually are just kind of one to one with each other in some cases and not distinct enough.
Yeah,
But I think for the systems thing he's mentioning, that's a harder thing to kind of beat because games, it's hard to make video games,
it is.
obviously. And trying to make things new every time is silly. You don't need to do that. But what helps the systems feel fresh is the coat of paint they're around.
Yep.
So every game having I guess we talk about this multiple times during the reactions to the so many Genshin clones at like Jeff shows or like the God knows how many Souls likes that are on the market. Like you can have a lot of the same thing, but if it also looks similar to each other, that doesn't really help much.
It's basically
So he is right about.
visually similar games, like all those games set in a Japanese ancient setting.
Hmm.
Or I mean Asian settings, I guess you could say, because a lot of them do look alike.
Yeah, the Genshin clones are ridiculous. They all look the same.
Yeah. Glenn Schofield says maybe I've directed my last game as he's tried to pitch a game lately and it just hasn't worked out. They just keep asking him to lower his budget until it's not viable.
I think the main reason is mainly like the Callisto Protocol didn't do as well as he wanted it to, and the end result was that kind of negatively colors. Even if his track record doesn't change the fact that his most recent effort, which cost a lot of money,
Yeah,
didn't
but if
wasn't the
you
biggest.
look at some of the details, we pulled the budget down to 17 million, built a prototype with a small crew, and took meetings. People loved the concept. We got a second and third meeting. But early feedback was get it to 10 million. Lately, the number's been dropping to 2 to 5 million. So, like, people were afraid to spend.
Maddie commented on something like this on Duke recently when he touched on this, where because publishers don't want to are very risk adverse. Even if you have a good budget, if the game isn't like halfway done, people don't sometimes they don't want to even pick the game up,
Yeah,
and that is a shame.
come to us when you're ready to launch. Yeah, and then let's
To
talk
wrap up,
about this final massive story.
oh yes,
Take it away, good sir.
absolutely. Let me open it up and I can read it. So player spends $32,000 on NBA 2K5 in just 5 months. One player has gone viral for spending an astonishing $32,000 in NBA 2K5 in just 5 months on microtransactions. The clip was posted on X, which showed YouTube 2K OG going through his microtransaction purchases for NBA 2K5 on PS Store, where he revealed he spent an astonishing $32,831.68 on the game. The clip reveals that transactions started on March 31st, 2025, and ended on August 5th, 2025. The date the clip was recorded. All the transactions were for the game's virtual currency pack, with the highest costing $160.48 each. You can watch the full clip below. And I was reading the article. The YouTuber himself revealed that he's learned his lesson from spending such a large amount of money. You don't say! And warned others that it is not worth chasing cards or spending large amounts of money for content creation. What's worse that is that despite him spending that much money, he still not obtained all the cards in the game. In fact, just by watching his video, you would probably need to spend an equal amount of money to get near completion. One thing's for sure, I will not spend this much again because you don't get rewarded for it. As much as I spent, I should have everything in the game, but it's not even. Bro, he funded the game.
Yeah.
He funded the game with that much money, and to make it worse. In the Inside Gaming article that covered the story, it states NBA 2K26 also releases on September 5th, 2025, 1 month from now from this recording, which will make all of his purchases pretty useless if he was to move on to the next game. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Wow.
microtransactions are more fun.
Microtransactions so fun. Bro, he funded the frigging game. Like, oh my, like, at least
This
he
is what
spent,
this is
like,
what live service is about. It's about chasing the big whales.
this is fucked up, man. Oh my god.
This is what they call a
Wow.
big whale in live service. This is what developers are chasing. These people who
Well, you
overspend.
know what? Those people are evil. Like, Jesus. I wish I had a fraction of that much money in my pocket right now. Yo, that is insane. But like the fact that he's just the guy is so casually, yeah, I won't do this again, bro. That is like that. Maybe money is just so. Maybe money is just something I'm like trying to be like. It's hard to get, but when I look at that number, I'm like, oh my god, Jesus. What do you feel about this?
That is absolutely wild, but this is what the developers want. They want these whales. Yeah, that's crazy. Perfect for our last story of the
Well,
day.
let's end the story with a question. What would you spend $32,000 on?
What would I spend?
Yeah.
$32,000 on. I don't know. Down payment on a car, I guess.
For me, I would half of it I'll put away. 1/3 of it I will most of it I'll put away, honestly. And then I'll use a portion of it to like get a like Sonic thing or whatever, and then that's
Sonic.
it.
Uh, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
That
I'll
is
get a Sonic.
wild. That is a wild misuse of finances. I'm baffled.
But seriously, that is such an insane like amount to spend on one. You know how many video games you could buy for $32,000? You can buy all the. You can buy like multiple copies of the same game. You can get like all the consoles this generation. You could get like a. You could spend a good. You could spend like a fraction, not even a fraction of that, and have a good gaming PC setup just right there. Like every 3,000. Like, oh my goodness. But God bless him for that. That this guy bounced back from that.
Learned his
From the sounds
lesson.
of it, at least. What a lesson to learn.
Yeah. Well,
My goodness.
let's wrap up this show before we laugh too much.
Of course.
Yes. Thanks everyone for supporting us today. Hope you enjoyed some of our pronunciations.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
have a good one.
So
See you.
don't be so don't so do not be a pissant and spend $32,000 on microtransactions. It's not fun.
Percent. Okay, Mr. Yate. Wish the audience farewell.
Have a good night, good day, everyone.
Have a good one.